Hey, 2 cents said, Martin, they said Canelo Crawford has sold 58,000 tickets. Yeah, I believe that shit when I see that, dog. Hey, did you hear the time? Did you hear that the time of the fight changed to 8 p.m.? No, imagine if Ali had a pay-per-view in his career. Ali had a lot of pay-per-views. They were called Ali. First of all, the most viewed fighters in the world is going to be Muhammad Ali. And it's not even, and that shit's not going to be close. All right. This is not anywhere near as big as the fight between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Not even close to it. And just because you think it's going to be on free TV, you're not going to get you're going to what? You're going to get 5-6 million people to watch that? Yeah, you used to have it on closed circuit. You used to have it on closed circuit. So yeah, anyway, man, for sure. Look, though, I got one person walking over. Hey, shout out over there at MH Blackwell, bro. I'm putting the live streams back on MH Blackwell. We do have our first production up on MH Blackwell. So please, please, please go check it out. We put a lot of work into it. We knew it wasn't going to get a lot of views. It's our first time through, and it's not, could have done better. But definitely check it out. Coach Chris said, forgive me for my tardiness, but you be late too. Yeah, I'll be late. Thanks, DH. Yeah, I know I was late today. I had to get some work. got to get shit done. Not even going to be close to Ali versus Chuck Webner. No, there's nobody's that is that big. Dude, Muhammad Ali was a cocky ass dude too, bro. God dang, that Negro was cocky. That is the cockiest Negro in the history of mankind. Man, I was listening in the research we were doing for that, man. I swear, God, I know I got an ego, but that dude's ego was through the roof. You know what I'm saying? That dude's ego was on. He's like, I am the most popular man ever. I'm the biggest name ever. It's like, you kind of are there, dog. You kind of are. Spoken into existence. But look, let me show you this, man. We could have some good. EA backed it up. I just finished rewatching your live reaction to Bud and Spence. That was absolutely magical to watch. Oh, dope. I'm glad that you did. See you later, man. I'm glad you enjoyed that, bro. Oh, undo bet. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody, I got to unblock DH. I meant to ban you. I didn't mean to hit DH. Sorry, DH. I meant to hit you. I got to hit DH. I hit DH on accident. Where's DH? Oh, I didn't hit DH. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I didn't hit DH. I thought I hit DH. What's up, Thomas Hill? Hey, man. Hey, by the way they keep talking about the Spence fight is pathetic. Like, I mean, seriously, you guys are very lonely people, man. I don't care that he beat Terence Crawford. It doesn't make me any difference whatsoever that Terence beat Errol Spence. It doesn't make me upset that Terence Crawford beat Errol. It doesn't make me upset that Terence Crawford is better than Errol. It doesn't make me upset at all, man. Look, if it wasn't for the fact that Terence Crawford was personally an asshole, I would be one of the biggest supporters of Terence Crawford that there is. I was one of the biggest supporters that Terence Crawford had for years and years and years and years. I don't have any problem going back and saying, look, man, I don't know how many people out here are cheating in boxing because you guys cheat a lot. Really, it's kind of rampant. But if I say, look, man, I don't know whether or not that dude did anything or not, let me go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt for about a month. I can do that. I can give him the benefit of the doubt all the way up into the fight and after the fight. I can give Bud the benefit of the doubt. My disdain for Bud is not so severe that I cannot give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not that petty a person, really. You know what I mean? I'm really not that petty. Yeah, me either. I still rock with Errol over Bud. I mean, I'm always going to rock with Errol over Bud because Errol's a nicer person. He's just a nicer person. So of course I'm going to rock with Errol and not Bud because Errol's a nice person. Bud is an asshole. And Bud has shown it to multiple people, bro. Chill Bill. Yeah, Chill Bill's the biggest. Now that's a Bud fan right there. And honestly, that's the reason why I'm going to try to get this dude the benefit of the doubt for the next month. Because I want to be fair to Bud. I'm not going to badmouth and talk about this dude and all that shit all the way up into that fight. I spoke my piece. I was like, Negro, you look like what you look like. And it is what it is. That's what I said. You know what I mean? and EJ from the city. I mean, I'm from Chicago. We ain't got no. I rock with Jessica McCaskill. Okay, I'm our last champion we've had was Jessica McCaskill. So I'm amped about Jessica McCaskill still, even though she retired. But you know, I don't have any favorite fighters because they're from cities other than people from Philly. You know, because my pops is from Philly. I don't like Terence either, man, but I'm gonna rock with him till after Canelo fight because I don't like because you don't like Fanon. I don't like Terence, man, but I'm gonna rock with him till after Canelo fight because I don't. What is that, Sam? Oh, you know I'm from Dallas, Fanon, the real Dallas. Okay, that's what's up. Look, man, I'm gonna rock with Terence through this Canelo fight because honestly, I don't know what Canelo doing either. So I'll rock with him through this fight. It is what it is, though. What makes no sense. Everybody, I bet Canelo versus Crawford. I paid them after the third round. Yeah, I mean, you know it's gonna be done. I mean, the fight was over from the beginning. That's why I don't buy that shit. I still don't buy that shit. I don't completely buy that shit. I just think people just play so many games, man, that people play to get advantages. Errol over Bud all day. Errol's just a better all-around person than a man. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. You're gonna get known. You're gonna get known. I mean, my guy Evans Entertainment said I'm rocking with Canelo. Look, man, I have a hard time rocking with Canelo over Bud. The best thing I can do in that particular fight is call it even and say, okay, look, I don't have a horse in this race. That's the best I can do. However, Terence Crawford is American. Despite all of his other flaws and shit I don't like about that dude, specifically talking crazy about my mama. Man, I don't know why that man. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to be a better person. Look, I don't have anything really against Terence Crawford other than the fact, well, I don't like that his gloves blew up because his gloves did blow up. And I have no idea why you bozos think I can't say his gloves blew up. His gloves did blow up. Boom. What do you think I meant? That they blew up like a bomb or something? It's colloquialism for they exploded, they ripped, they tore. That's what I meant by that. And you know it. So why are you playing? Anyway, I'm going to be nice. Errol looked like Joshua when he fought Andy Ruiz. They both look drained or something. Well, yeah, I just hope that they look. I want to see this. This is what I'm looking forward to right here. Man, I could have sworn I already had it up. Here, this is what I'm looking forward to. They got a lot of fights in 154. Last man standing. This to me means that I think that these guys are going to wind up came in with faded glory gloves. Hey, Martin, look. All I'm saying is I'm trying to give Bud the benefit of the doubt, really and truly. Because I will say, look, man, I will give you guys something. If I'm because I know that I'm influential to a degree. So since they confessed, at the least they confessed that I am uniquely influential. As long as they acknowledge that I was uniquely influential, okay, I'll acknowledge that. Oh, they got to have something planned. The last man standing. Sebastian Vendora, Jermell Charlo, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Bakram Murtazaliev, Erickson Lubin, Jesus Ramos, and Yanez Tellez. Which tells me, look, bro, God dog, that's none of those fights in that thing are easy. Can we get an amen for this tournament? I'm giving it an amen. I got this PBC last man. You got Sebastian Vendora, Jermell, Errol, Keith, and you know Keith and Sebastian fight next. Bakram Murtazaliev, Erickson Lubin. You need to make Errol Spence, Erickson Lubin. Contrell LaGrue say, yo, Fanon, I watched the Ali documentary. I appreciate you And good job on it. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. It'll be better next time, bro. It'll be good. It'll be a little bit better next time, man. We had like 40 minutes of stuff in there, man. There is no, I don't know what the brackets are. I don't know who the bracket. I know the only one that I know for sure is Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman. I would think Jesus Ramos. I would give Errol Jonas Tellez. That's what I would do. I want to get Errol. I'm man. Man, that shit looks good. I'll take it any way we can get it, though. I just hope that the first fight has already been announced, though. But yeah, that's a good card, man. I mean, that's a good situation. Also, this shows that PBC isn't dead. Well, I mean, honestly, man, the PBC, I think the PBC is in a very good position, man. I think the PBC is going to probably be the last man standing. Oh, you just clicked the link. It's on the 1960s. It's in the link. The link is above. It's on the MH Blackwell channel, man. It's on MH Blackwell channel. So Fundora has a belt. Tellez too. Who all has a belt, fam? No, Tellez does not have a belt. Fundora has a belt. It's at 154. It is. I don't know who has Terence Crawford's belt right now. I thought they said Ramos was going to 160. I don't know. It has him on this particular it has him on that particular I got to stop yelling. They have him on that poster. So apparently it's not. I thought, yeah, so I don't know who said that though, Andy Gill. I don't know who said Ramos was going to 160. They might go to 160. Who knows? Tell us interim or he about to fight for the interim. Okay. Crawford is still a champion. Yeah, Crawford needs to drop that belt, man. I don't know why does he still have that belt? They should just move it. So no one has Bud's belt yet. Yeah, they need to just go ahead and drop that, man. It should be. Who does dude who whooped Tim have one? Yes, he does. You're talking about Fundora unified. No, Fundura's not unified. Fundora got stripped. Xander Zayas has the WBO. Xander Zayas has the WBO. Sebastian Fundora has the WBC. Terence Crawford has the WBA. And I don't know who has the IBF. Let me look. Yeah, but I think the PBC is in a great position, man. As long as what they do is if they stay the course, if they just kind of stay the course, I think they'll be good, man. I really think they'll be good, bro. I really do, man. I think they'll be good. Bo will get stripped like Mel did when he chose to fight Canelo. Yeah, kind of. Unless, of course, Turkey Al-Sheikh bribes the WBA to let him keep the title no matter what. Oh, yeah. Bakram. Yeah, that it is. Yeah, Bakram Murtazalia. So that monster, Bakram got the IBF. Okay, yeah, Bakram Murtazalia. I don't know who you are, Trap Media. I'm not dropping a link. I'm not dropping links for people that I don't know, bro, because there's too many games that get played. I'm sorry. My links in this chat are for people that I already know, people that got links and stuff like that. I'm not interested in having somebody come up here and play a game with me, okay? I know the little kiddies want to play games, and I don't know, Trap Media USA, if you're that type of guy or not, but I'm not really in the mood to find out. You know what I mean? So no offense, bro. So then Murtazaliev, Fundora, Spence, and Thurman will be facing the other four, and it will bracket off like that. Martin, you think? Well, if you go from the top to the bottom, right? Like, who deserves the number one is going to be, well, then who knows? Shit. Because they got Thurman going against Fundora. I guess Fundora is probably the number 2 seed underneath Jermel. If I matched them, I would do Tellez. I would do Jonas Tellez, Errol Spence. Erickson Lubin. Murtazaliev. And then I would give Jermell Charlo, Jesus Ramos. The only reason I would give, it should probably be switched between Tellez and Jesus Ramos. But I would either give Errol Spence, Jesus Ramos, or Tellez. I would give Erickson Lubin the shot at the title with Murtazaliev. Keith Thurman and yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I would do something like that. I like that. I like that though, Thomas Hill. I like that. He's not fighting Tellez. He's fighting. He's fighting Lima. No, Trap Media, that is incorrect. He's fighting somebody named Lima. He is not fighting. He is not fighting that guy. Wait, Jermell is the little brother, correct? I mean, yeah, the smaller. Yeah, Jermell is the one at 154. Yeah, Jermell is the younger of the two. Why would I don't know if he's fighting Tellez. Look, I'll know who he's fighting. I'll know who he's fighting as soon as he's fighting him. As of right now, he's fighting a guy named Lima. Usma Lima in a WBA title eliminator. And you're saying that if he wins, he's going to fight Jonas Tellez in a title eliminator. I don't ever say that those shits are going to actually happen like they're supposed to happen. Who knows what's going to happen? And I doubt, I said, Ramos is number 3 for the WBA, so Tellez might fight Ramos for the WBA. I want to see Spence Lubin. I would prefer to see, which is the Lubin that knocked out? Didn't Jermell knock out Erickson Lubin already? I wouldn't mind seeing a Jermell Charlo Erickson Lubin rematch. I think Erickson Lubin is what the fuck? I don't know about you, bro. Bro, Trap Media, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You're trying to break a bunch of fucking news that ain't been broken. I have no idea why in the world you think that Tellez is going to be fighting Jaron Ennis. If you understand how these promotional companies work, that these guys, like how Terence Crawford got the WBO, they never fought Terence Crawford. They wound up moving around and doing all kind of different stuff to make sure their fighters fight each other. That's what's going to happen because these guys are going to try to have a tournament. They already had one. You know what I mean? Bro, I'm not screenshotting shit, bro. If Tellez winds up being next, then you're a lucky man and you guess right. Okay? I'm not giving you any credit for guessing right. We'll know what happens when it happens. Floyd versus Spence would be a perfect matchup. Both have been through war. That's true, Chillville. That's true for sure. Boots needs to fight Virgil after Lima. Yeah, I would prefer to see Boots fight Virgil Ortiz. Hey, man, thank you, Jay Milts. Hey, this is for the color. Respects Mr. Martin in chat. Bud gets KO'd, and so does Can't Elho. Hey, Thomas Hill said, so Fundora versus Thurman, Charlo versus Murtazaliev, Spence versus Lubin, Ramos versus what you think about those matchups. Fundora Thurman, I like it. Charlo Murtazaliev, that's right back for the belt. Spence Lubin, like it. I think you're giving Ramos an easy match. Ramos Tellez, I like all those matchups. Thomas Hill, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Box Live will kind of break it down for you who should be fighting. I mean, I can read the and damn it, I gotta stop yelling. I can read the rankings and understand what's gonna happen, but you got to look at the promotional companies, man. You know, you got to look at the promotional companies and who is going to be fighting who based off who's getting represented by who. They got an Amazon Prime contract, and these guys got to get these fights on that Amazon Prime contract. You know, so they're going to look to get their own fighters' fights first. That's what the PBC is probably going to do. They don't need. I think it's very, very dangerous. Like kind of like what they're doing with David Benavidez is kind of dangerous, you know. But that's David Benavidez's choice to go over there and fight on rehab season cards, because that's where all the competition is. If he had not already pretty much cleared out the PBC's 168ers, I mean, guys at 168, and if the PBC had more 175s, he probably was still with the PBC. Why would you say Charlo would get stopped by Murtazaliev? Charlo's not ever gotten stopped by anybody. He can have a layoff. I don't know if he's going to get stopped by Murtazaliev. Extremely dangerous, but the Cubas fucks with Turkey heavy. Yeah, I have never met Louis the Cubas. Don't know Louis the Cubas. I know that what's he the manager? Is Louis the Cubas the manager for David Benavidez? Jay Mill said, I'm paying $100 for it. What's that? Errol need to go clean up 160 and shoot the rematch with Bud. Bud not coming down to 154 if he don't retire. Man, that shit is past, man. That shit is dumb. That shit is done. Errol is not going to be rematching Terence Crawford, so that shit is just a done deal, bro. No. Samson Leskovich is a promoter. He's not a manager. Samson Leskovich is a promoter, not a manager. So Louis the Cuba must be the manager. Louis the Cuba must be the manager. Because Samson Leskovich is the one that is definitely a promoter and not a manager. They don't call Murtazaliev murder for no reason. Look, I'm just trying to tell you, Jermall Charlo ain't no pushover. Jermell Charlo ain't no pushover, man. Jermell Charlo will beat the brakes off you. Jermell Charlo is one of the best fighters in the world. He went up and challenged at 168. Didn't work out for him, skipping a weight class. But hey, man, he got dropped, got back up, finished the fight, and came on back out. If it ain't no way in the world that somebody, I'm not gonna say no way, but I'm just saying don't get fooled don't get fooled. You know what I mean? Don't get fooled. That dude can fight, man, for real. Jermell is no fake, man. That Bud Spence is the only thing people can say to hype Bud up, isn't it? That's the only thing they have, bro. That's because Bud hasn't really done anything since then. Bud didn't have a good performance the last time out against who was the guy he fought again? God dog, my memory is slipping like a champ. It's not Bakram Mertz, it's Madmarov, Israel Madmarov. Yeah, Madmarov. C Money number 5 said Murtazaliev hasn't fought anybody. Typical Euro monster hype job. No, man, I've got no. Wrong. Man, those Eastern Europeans be real, dog. Those Eastern European fighters are for real. Muddy Water said Jermell is upholding the Charlo name, if you ask me. Yeah, first of all, Jamal ain't never lost. Jermell has lost once or twice. Yeah, Madrimov. The Crawford antidote, Madrimov. Yeah, Madrimov. Man, those Eastern Europeans are real fighters, bro. Yeah, he say real juiced up too. Hey, very. I ain't saying they not. I'm not saying they're not. However, I'm just saying those guys out there, those Eastern Europeans can be some real tough outs, bro. Butayev, guys like Butiev, Stanionis. Man, those Eastern Europeans be whooping the tar out those Brits. That shit is funny. Man, blood boxing. Shout out to blood boxing, retro boxings, and documentaries. I haven't seen him in a while. Retro boxing and documentary said one time, talking about how those Eastern European fighters be beating the tar out of those British fighters, man. And to see Alexander Usyk do that shit, that tells you, man, Alexander Usyk just told you how whack UK heavyweights are. For the rest of, I don't care what you guys say. Every one of these heavyweights that those UK dudes produced that they claim was this all-time great heavyweight, they all got whooped by a damn near 40-year-old cruiserweight. 6'3", not 6'5", not 6'6", not loaded with muscle. And that Eastern European cruiserweight walked through every one of you. And you're so far down that now you want Moses Atumwa. You want to look. I want to see Atumwa versus War. Yeah, that would need to happen. Atumwa versus Fabio Warbley. I agree. 100%. Rampage, do you think the new kid Atumwa is the truth? He looks good to me. Everything that I see from I've seen of Moses Atumwa, he's got fast hands. He seems like he's got fast hands. He looks like he's got quick feet. So yeah, I mean, look, everything's good with him right now, you know. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just, you know, I'm gonna wait till I see more of him, you know, because Atumwa's a true speed, power, and youth. Well, it's promising that he's 20 years old. Because he's fighting at the level he should be fighting at 20 years old. However, I will tell you this. He has not been thrown in there against a guy like Martin Bakole. Okay? I don't know what he's going to do with Martin Bakole. They compared Atumwa to Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson was 20 years old and he had already beaten Larry Holmes. But look, I'll see. For now, the Eastern Europeans study and have a deep admiration for a lot of black fighters. Every Eastern European I see talk raves about Ali. Keep up the good work, bro. Thank you very much, man. I'm going to try, man. Thank you, Jay Mills, for that color in the building. Jay Mills back at it said, the grind. Hopefully this $2 inspires support. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. We not the same. He turned down Bakole. Yeah, I mean, like, look, bro. Let me see him in there with Martin Bakole, somebody like that. Throw him in there with Joseph Parker and see how that turns out, man. You know, I'm not gonna get overly excited until I see him. I don't even really know. Like, seriously, I don't really trust UK heavyweight, so we'll see. Atumwa's stardom at there yet, not there yet. Yeah, Turkey fed Jared Anderson to Bakole. Fanon, yeah, it's early in his career for Atumwa. Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna get that gut to get out there on him. And plus, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about the kid. I don't want to say anything bad about him. He said, hey, Atumwa manager said they want Jermaine Franklin next. Dude who AJ beat a while back. I know who Jermaine Franklin is. He's an American fighter. Yeah, so Jermaine Franklin would be a good fight for Atumwa. No, Michael Hunter he don't want to fight Michael Hunter, bro. This is a bad. Oh, okay, thank you, bro. Kurt Hurd, bro, thank you, man. Yes, it did. My guy Kurt Hurd said just because. Thank you, Kurt Hurd. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Big time $8 holla in the Cash App. Thank you, brother. Abdullah Mason and Moses Atumwa are my favorite young fighters. Money Water said, Fanon, do you think Jared Anderson is shot? No, I do not think Jared Anderson is shot. I don't think that his mind is there. Jared Anderson he caught that Devin Haney disease. Man. No, I don't think he's shot. I don't think he's shot. Oh, the Devin Haney disease, where you start thinking you're the king of the world and you're not. He started running his mouth and talking a lot and having an arrogant attitude. That. Definitely seems like he fell out of love with the sport his last out. Looked like he didn't want to be there. Yeah, I don't think Jared Anderson really wants to fight. I think he's got all the talent that he needs to do, and he can fight for sure. But he said once we get a crop of Americans to pick up gloves instead of football and basketball, boxing as a whole going to be better. Well, you know, those cats they take all the talent. Who wants to get punched in the face when you can swing a baseball bat? You know, and those baseball players are getting paid more money than boxers are getting paid. Back in the day, boxers for the risk that they took with their lives, boxers used to get paid more money than athletes that didn't have to risk their lives. Now you got a bunch of juiced up basketball players making a ton of money, taking days off. That's what they wanted to go to. They wanted to go for Black Americans to focus on team sports because they don't want to have another Muhammad Ali. Let's just tell it like it is. You know what I mean? Let's just tell it like it is. They didn't want another Muhammad Ali, bro. So they broke up the American heavyweight. That's what I think. Anyway, because the first thing they did is try to tear it. They tore it Don King. There's no reason we shouldn't have good heavyweights other than we don't have a robust amateur program. While those guys have they have a more robust amateur program. But you know, that's what really happened. They wanted to focus, or I believe that they wanted to focus Black Americans on team sports and that they did not want to have another Black American heavyweight champion. They went out of their way not to ensure that Deontay Wilder never got a shot at the undisputed title. Of all of the people that have fought in this, of the top heavyweights in the last 10 years, Deontay Wilder is the only one not to get a shot at any other title. Not to get a shot at any other title. He's the only one. Tyson Fury got a shot at all three belts, and he got a shot at the WBC. Anthony Joshua got a shot at the WBA. He got a shot at the IBF and a shot at the WBO. As a unified champion. The only person, what's up, Von Flo? The only person that has never been given an opportunity to fight for all those belts was Deontay Wilder. How many opportunities did Tyson Fury get? Multiple. How many opportunities did AJ get after he lost a championship? Right back in it. Got fought, lost, and got another one. Lost it again and got another one, right? Lost one and got another one. He's going to get another one. You know what I'm saying? And watch this. AJ's going to get another championship fight. He absolutely is. As soon as somebody, look at Danny Dubois. How many championship shots did Danny Dubois get? Only person not to get the opportunity was the Black American heavyweight champion. The only one. They took all that shit to Europe and they want to keep that shit there. A prime Wilder would have sparked Usyk if they fought. I don't know for sure if he would have beat Usyk or not, but I know this: if Usyk got his ass hit, Usyk can get knocked the fuck out. That's for sure. But I'm just saying that they want the UKs to have the heavyweights. They want all of the heavyweight fights in the UK. That just like they wanted all those fights at 126 for the WBA to be in the UK. They want heavyweight championship fights in the UK. And they are doing everything they can to prevent another Mike Tyson, something like that, man. That's what I think. Diddy Bob, do you think Mexicans and other fighters support more and bring more money than you? That's why no, absolutely not. Mexicans do not support more or nor bring in more money. How can you guys, the biggest fights in the history of boxing have all included black fighters. All of them. There's only a handful of Mexicans that have even come close. And the times that they've come close, they fought black fighters. No, you just need a black fighter to fight a Mexican fighter. Black fighter can fight a Puerto Rican fighter in the United States, and you're going to do big money. These guys are trying to bring in European boxing into the United States. It shit's not going to work. And you're never going to maximize the amount of money that can be earned. And they diluted it with this bullshit UFC. Von Wise said heavyweights is where the money is. No, there's more money at lightweight right now. Bro, there's more money in lightweight than there is in heavyweight. Watch me. Let me repeat this. There is not a single heavyweight fight that will generate as much money as a Gervonta Davis fight. Not a single heavyweight fight will generate the money of a Gervonta Davis fight. None of them. Oh, you're talking about back in the day. No, let me tell you where the money is. The money is where a black American fighter has captured the black American market. That is where the money is. I'm going to tell you where the money is. The money is whenever black Americans unify behind a fighter. That's where the money is. That's all we need. We don't need anything else. Let me repeat this. The only thing that a black American fighter needs to do to pop out the top is to have the support of black Americans. No, there's Anthony Joshua. No, Anthony Joshua was never that. Martin, I mean, look, 2 Cent. AJ was big in Britain. He was big in Britain, and they pushed that shit all over the place. But AJ, dude, AJ's fights, the most AJ's fights could have ever generated was around $40 million. Tops. $40 million. That's just about what Anthony, that's way less than what Gervonta Davis did against Ryan Garcia. I mean, there's just no comparison to the money that can be made in the United States if you have a black American champion that has unified the black American fan base. That is why these guys who I'm going back to not mentioning your names. That is why you guys are such terrible. The job you do is so bad because you are preventing people from getting behind. You are preventing people from getting behind fighters. You are using your voice in the American press to sabotage black fighters and to prevent them from having their full support. That's what you guys are doing. And you know you're doing it, but you're penny wise and pound foolish. And you're tearing up American boxing, man. It's almost no momentum. Other than it's like the best thing about, I'm telling you. He's Tina Warwick said, I'm a new amateur super heavyweight, and I definitely believe you're right. I don't get why new American heavyweight have to go through the amateurs longer than the UK fighters turn pro faster. I mean, you got to have somebody that's willing to sign you and somebody that's willing to back you. You know, you got to have somebody that's behind you, somebody that's willing to put you in fights and grow you. Jared Anderson was on his way. Jared Anderson could have got himself in a very good situation, but they waved that money in front of him, man. And these YouTube channels want to divide, make boxers seem washed if they lose once, and then come back after defeat. And the beauty of sports. Von Wise, look, ain't no more American storylines. Shit dry. People like Tank coming from nothing and becoming something. We're missing that in the sport. Look, I think we could definitely do well to support the best fighters. which is why Terence has always been a disappointment to me. The best Black American fighter that we have right now is Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford, personality didn't work. If Terence Crawford personality was anything like Errol's, then you would not have, dog, ESPN may still have, let me put it this way. If Terence Crawford had the personality of Errol Spence, ESPN and Bob Arum and those guys weren't at war, didn't think they had to overcome some war with the PBC. Man, these guys, American boxing could be in the best shape, period. Now, I listen to Lou DiBella, who I respect a lot. I really do respect Lou DiBella. I respect people that are professional. Lou DiBella is very, very professional. Ryan J said, Fanon to go. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Who is the next Black fighter that you would say is the future of boxing after Tank and Crawford's? It could have been Jerron. It should be Jerron. For me, it's the talent is obvious. It's Jerron Ennis. But Jerron Ennis, no, not Abdullah. Not Abdullah. I think it's Jerron Ennis. Jerron Ennis is exciting, man. Jerron Ennis is exciting. I don't see Abdullah, maybe. OG told me, said it's going to be Scooter Davis. I don't know right now. For me, I think, yeah, exactly. Eddie's fumbling the fucking bag, bro. No. I was talking about Lou DiBella. Okay, yeah, Lou DiBella. Lou DiBella said, and I'm telling you, I respect Lou DiBella big time. I respect Lou DiBella a lot, man. I really, really do. Let me see something. Hey, yeah, we got MH Blackwell up and rolling. Hey, to the 12 people on MH Blackwell, shout out to you over there on MH Blackwell. Lee Vincent said, hey, from England, you're great at explaining the truth. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, man. Look, for me, no, I fucks around with Floyd Schofield. The reason I'm saying Jerron Ennis is because of the weight class. Usually it's welterweights. I think it should be Jerron, to tell you the truth. But after that, I mean, Carmel Moulton was doing his thing until they sidelined Carmel Moulton. Carmel Moulton. I like Carmel Moulton. Scooter Davis, y'all are bigging up Scooter Davis, so I'm paying attention to Scooter Davis. Jesus, Bam, right? If Bam was bigger, bro. If Bam was bigger. David Benavidez, I know David Benavidez ain't black. Don't get me wrong. I know David Benavidez ain't black. But if Canelo Alvarez would fucking fight David Benavidez, it would be David Benavidez. Like, we could be getting all these big fights out of David Benavidez. But Canelo won't fight David Benavidez. Terence is not going to fight David Benavidez. Boost definitely should be a bigger star than he is. Eddie is definitely not the promoter for Ennis, or should have stayed with the PBC. Terrell with the Cash App. Thank you, brother. Terrell with the $5 holler said, for the grind. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. We are grinding, man. We grinding for show. David got to trust the process instead of chasing Nello turkey. Yeah, he does. But David Benavidez, man, David Benavidez is nice with it. But I think David Benavidez, I'm going to tell you somebody else I like. His daddy got a big mouth, and I fucks with his daddy. I like Brian Norman Jr. too. I like Brian Norman Jr. As a fighter, I like Brian Norman Jr. I think Brian Norman Jr. got a shot. I think he's got a shot. Only thing is his daddy got to stop talking. like, you know what I'm saying? Like his dad, his dad, and I know his dad be listening. So shout out, brother. This ain't no heavy criticism, bro. I fucks with Brian Norman Jr. too. I like Brian Norman Jr. Is there any African-American heavyweight prospect for the future? The Bitters and Eurofighters are straight whack. Yeah, they got, I'm sure they do. Benavidez got that old school fighting mentality. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Hey, man, Contrell Grew said Devin's little brother going to be great. Hey, Contrell Grew, I'm not going to say anything bad about Devin Haney anymore. I'm not going to say anything bad about Bill Haney. I have already gone beyond, above and beyond any criticisms of people on YouTube. I'm no longer going to mention their names. I am no longer going to go in on just randomly going on Bill Haney. I'm going to be a better person, man. I'm working on it. I'm going to be a better, more mature person because I have to admit that I got pushed to the point where I was going to do some real ridiculous shit to people. And that was just out of sorts, bro. Yeah, that's the guy. There's a black heavyweight signed to Golden Boy from Houston, fought on the Sims undercard. I forgot his name, though. Yeah, it was a dude I was thinking about, man. But yeah, any of the big guys, they're playing basketball, bro. Anybody really big enough to be a heavyweight is going to be like a point guard in the NBA. You know, we're missing like Kyrie Irving. Like Kyrie Irving would probably been a great fighter. Guys like that. David, what you laughing? I'm telling you the truth, David. Seriously, man. I'm going to be much more professional, bro. Because I do realize I don't like, for real. Problem as well, American heavyweight boxers do not want to, not too many of them will be traveling abroad to the UK to fight them. We are unfortunately being forced to do that. They have leverage currently. Yeah, that's another thing. As long as you have to fight outside the country, good luck ever dominating some type if you have to continually go to somebody else's country to fight. Spence and Benavidez would be nice. What are you talking about? Spence and Benavidez cannot fight. Exactly. Big explosive athletes on the court are playing linebacker in the NFL. Yeah, linebacker. Guys that are playing there, those are some big ass dudes, bro. Yeah, exactly. It said LeBron versus Wilder. Man, look, we already got enough juice problems. We already got enough juice and problems in boxing, bro. We don't need to have we don't need LeBron. Man, David Benavidez is a 168 pounder. Ain't no way. Yeah, tight end linebacker type shit. Yeah, them big ass dudes, bro. The big boys, bro. Them big dudes, man. Hey, Steven Lopez said, Fanon, what's up, brother? It's been a while. God bless you and your stream. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, Steven Lopez. Yeah, I'm going to try to be. Let me put a link in the chat in case anybody want to chop it up. Travis Kelce versus Daniel Dubois. Now, for real, I think those are going to be the best ones. LaJuice James. There's MH Blackwell. We got it up and running again. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out that video, man. Just go check it out. That's my first one. We're going to do a little bit better. So for boxing fans that know a lot about Muhammad Ali, a lot of that stuff is just, anyway. I think Joshua Edwards is his name, young heavyweight from Houston. Yeah, well, the thing is, he's going to have to, who is he going to fight in order to get good sparring? But who was the first to sell out American boxing? Emmanuel Stewart was the first person to sell out the American heavyweights, bro, when he brought in that grab, that jab and grab style he brought in with the Klitschko's. That's the guy that really sold out American heavyweights, bro. Rest in peace to Emmanuel Stewart. But Emmanuel Stewart was the guy that really started selling out American heavyweights, bro. And training UK heavyweights in that jab and grab and mug style, which got those guys, which really did get European heavyweights on the map because they got that jab and grab and mug and rug. Hey, thank you. Said great video on MH Black. Well, thank you, brother. Abdul Shahid Rauf Wahid. Thank you, brother. I'd really appreciate if you guys could watch that video. Just take some time, watch it, so I don't feel guilty. We got to make some more. Also, if you guys have any topics, any like current topics you want me to do a feature about, please let me know. He said, better go spar those boys that work with Prentice Brewer Jr. Yeah, I mean, they guys got to get better. They probably have to get good sparring because in the 70s and the 80s, those guys had a lot of good fighters. A lot of good fighters, a lot of good athletes were coming out fighting. So they had a lot of really good sparring, a lot of work. So they're going to have to find a way. American heavyweights are going to have to find a way to get more work. But really, all of boxing is just going to have to crash. This bubble is going to have to crash. The bubble. You know, but you know what it is. Hey, man, where's my guy, Phenomenal Nuke? Okay, I check out the video. Been waiting on it. Thank you, Von Wise. Yeah, man, you know, yeah, I think you'll like it. Oh, Mr. Miles said, I'm watching the video now. Yeah, thanks, bro. See, I did. Yeah, but anyway, we're going to do more. But look, if you have any topics you really want me to do over there, man, that you guys think would be good stuff for MH Blackwell, please let me know. Please let me know. Because we got ideas for the next one, but they're going to get made a lot faster. I'm going to try to put one up every 2 weeks. I'm trying to put up a nice one every 2 weeks or so. Get it on TikTok. Got to put it on TikTok and all that other shit too. Thank you for your support today in the super chats and the cash apps, for real. I really do help. Thank you. He said Emmanuel trained Oliver McCall versus Lennox Lewis, then trained Lewis in the rematch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, he's got some shady. Hey, dude, there's a lot of shady shit about dude. I can tell you for sure. That dude was not the same person that he presented himself to his TV, man. That was a mean-ass dude. Like, he didn't necessarily have a funky attitude. Was that your son at the end of the video helping you out? Yeah. My son edited the video, bro. Yeah, my son edited the video. Hey, he said, I'm definitely going to check out your video on Image Uncle. Thank you, bro. Oh, that's dope. Got you. Oh, man, much love in the cash app, bro. Eddie Simmons says, for telling it like it is. Thank you, brother. Hotboxed and watched it when you dropped it. When you drop it. Hotboxed and watched when you drop it. Thank you, man. We're going to get him up fast. Your boots in this video made so much sense as well. I also agree Eddie is holding him back. Look, man, Eddie Hearn, you're not an American, bro. I really wish you'd get out of the country, bro. Please go back to Europe. Like, seriously, man, please leave our money alone. Please leave our money and our time alone. Dog, we do not need the United States of American boxing. American boxing does not need UK boxing. American boxing does not need Japanese boxing. It's you guys that need America, and you're trying to take it over and trying to dictate everything that happens in it. Meanwhile, you've got Turkey Al-Sheikh trying to force all of the really good fights over there to the UK and sticking us with these sideshow Bob nonsense. Please, Eddie Hearn, get out of the United States, man. Please. I know that's a bad thing to say, but get out. Jerron Ennis should be with somebody like, I don't care if he was with Kathy Duva. I mean, for real. Don't care. It could be Kathy Duva. It could be Samson Leskovich. Like, I know Samson Leskovich. Samson Leskovich doesn't represent a lot of Black Americans. He represents a lot of dudes that speak, a lot of Latinos. But Jesus, man, Samson Leskovich, somebody, man. Not somebody that's going to do the shit Eddie's doing. Because Eddie's going to tell some lies, man. Once he starts lying on you, bro. Once Eddie starts representing you and misleading people about you, Sharon, you are going to be the one that is going to bear the grunt. You're always going to bear the brunt of it. But at the same time, I understand why he resigned. Because, hey, man, Eddie Hearn kept his promises. But as Matt from Brunch Boxing said, because I was listening, I don't know when I listen, I don't always show my face. Kind of like when you guys do all that ghosting shit, except for I don't start typing and making fun of people, bro. Anyway, American boxing runs boxing and has always since the beginning. Yep. Well, since the beginning, since like the 1890s. Yeah. Facts. He doesn't have that much knowledge on our boxing format, so his promotion sucks. Well, honestly, man, he just lies too much, and there's too many people that know The way that he goes about storytelling, the way that he goes about making shit up. It's just too much, man. You know, it's time to put some draws on that, bro. Please put some draws on that. On the little tricks where you try to make it seem like you tried to make a fight, but you know full well you didn't really try to make a fight, but you keep saying you tried to make a fight. Every time you say you tried to make a fight and the other person comes back and says, no, he really didn't try to make the fight, nobody's going to believe Eddie, because everybody knows what Eddie did with Deontay and what he did in other circumstances. They want to take boxing from America for whatever reason. They really want to take American money outside of the United States and transport it over to their pocketbooks. That's what they want to do. That's why there's going to be, what do you call it? What do you say? We're going to have a takeover America. Oh, that's what Eddie Hearn wanted to do. Eddie Hearn thought he could take over the America by bringing Anthony Joshua to America. They were pushing everybody. They were pushing everybody to the side in order to try to get AJ to prop up AJ as the next Muhammad Ali in the United States. You guys just do too much shit. What's up, Omega Red? How you feeling, brother? Steven Lopez says his offers are so lopsided that no boxers want to do business with him. Well, because that's another thing. People lie about how much money everybody's making. You lie about how much money everybody's making, so everybody wants to make the amount of money that you lied about them making. That's why, Bob, you ever notice that Bob Arum never really talks about how much money somebody makes? You ever notice that? Like, even when Don King talked about how much money people made, they talked about it like a flat fee. It's not just boxing, it's everything. Hip hop, or them trying to get the Super Bowl in the UK next year. Oh, Jesus. Why in the world would they move? Let me tell you something right now, bro. If the NFL moves the Super Bowl out of the United States of America, it's the yous. It's you people. It's what's up, man? Come eat with Zoe Evans. What up, man? It's a combination of Evie being cheap and fighters adding Boots tax to their purse. Nobody's gonna fight Boots for nothing. Okay, it's just that's not gonna happen, man. What's up, Behold? How you feeling, man? Texas is bigger than the UK. Why the fuck would they move it? And everybody and both of the fucking people from the teams, nobody from those cities live in the UK. Okay? Why do you, man, you know how pissed I'd be if the Chicago Bears make it to a Super Bowl and they put the fucking Super Bowl in Saudi Arabia just for the sake of fucking it up? Everything's got to be international. Let me tell you, man, the battle for our souls will be between the national-minded and the nebulous international. I am telling you, bro, these cats, like, look, man, I'm going to talk politics for a while. Whenever you see somebody pushing to internationalize something, they are stealing your money. It starts with stealing your money. It ends with stealing your money. You tell me something in the United States, and you're going to be hard pressed to tell me something in the United States, that we get from people outside the United States as far as our entertainment goes. We don't take any entertainment from anywhere else outside the world. Okay? But we buy all their products, barely ship out anything. All they're trying to do, bro, you keep asking me the same thing a million times, bro. I'm never going to answer that question again. I'm going to block you every time you ask it. Okay? If you ask me that question, I'm going to immediately block you. However, let me answer the question in this fashion. You cannot find a situation for me where you have somebody invade a country, culturally invade a country, and the country ever returns to the way that it was before. You are trying a cultural invasion by bringing in sports. You want us to look up to a bunch of Saudi Arabians and say, thank you, Your Excellency, for providing this entertainment for me. Thank you, Your Excellency, for providing this entertainment for me. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh, praise Your Excellency for providing this fight for me. It's such great cost to yourself. Oh my God, my Excellency. You fucking idiots are literally running around trying to tell me to call this government employee His Excellency. Shit ain't happening, homie. Von Wise, how can I help you?
What's going on, Fanon? I was just listening to you, and it like dawned on me how we were just talking about how like
your volume is low on your mic, man, or maybe my volume is low. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. So we was talking about how like the American heavyweight, just American boxing in general, and I was just thinking about something like, so I grew up in Cincinnati, like boxing, that's big for us over there. You taught it growing up and stuff. Um, all the athletes growing up, when you think about it even now, the big athletes, who they all want to be, they want to be the boxers. You don't see like the boxers at all baseball games, basketball games, stuff like that. You might see them, every now and then, but boxing events is like the show. You see all your favorite athletes at the boxing events. That show that boxing always been the thing that moves the needle. You know what I'm saying? So like when you think about how they always showing all the biggest celebrities at the biggest boxing events, these only happen a couple of times a year, but everybody in a rush to get there. They ain't in a rush to get over to Saudi Arabia or over to Europe to see them dudes fight. The thing always been over here, so clearly they trying to dig into the American boxing market because they see that this is still what everybody want to be. You know, yeah, you show LeBron, basketball, football, all that stuff. The big athletes, but those dudes want to be the boxers. Ain't nothing better than punching a dude in the face. Everybody
Yeah, yeah.
being able to say, "Hey, I knocked the dude out." Ain't nothing better than that. So, but yeah, I was just thinking about that. When you hear listening to you talk, just saying like, "Hey, like boxing's still the thing that moved the needle."
It is. All right, brother. Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Thank you, Vaughn. Good to see you again, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Yeah, boxing is an individual sport, bro. Like, but look, I'm going to tell you, you know who they didn't like too? Anytime you have a black in an individual sport, bro, they're not true. Think about how they treated Serena Williams, how they treated Tiger Woods. They don't want to promote that. When Serena Williams won 4 majors in a row, all of a sudden they changed the record from holding all 4 majors to holding it in a calendar year. It was like they completely did away. I see you too, Sin. Give me 1 second. It's like they completely did away with the accomplishment that Serena Williams had, that she had won 4 majors in a row, and said, well, it wasn't in a calendar year. When the fact of the matter is, really, there is no off season at all in tennis. They just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. You play all year long. So anyway, then she passed up for majors. She passed up Steffi Graf. But then all of a sudden, they weren't capped. They said Steffi Graf had won the most open majors, right? The most majors. Then when Serena Williams passes Steffi Graf, they talk about Margaret Court and how Margaret Court had the most. When they weren't counting Margaret Court when it was Steffi Graf. When it was Steffi Graf that had the most championships, Margaret Court didn't count. But when Serena passed Margaret Court, when she passed, God, what's her name again? When she passed the German, then they said, okay, boom, it doesn't count anymore. That's how they did Serena Williams. They did the same thing. Yeah, they did this. Yes, Fuzzy Zell said, I bet Tiger Woods going to eat chicken and collard greens. Yeah, Steffi Graf, thank you. Steffi Graf. Yeah, Steffi Graf. That's how they did it. Exactly. True Grand Slam Williams. Yeah, she made it. Steffi Graf. Yeah, Steffi Graf. They fucked over Serena. Like, no joke. Steffi Graf. Oh, here's 2 cents. Let me bring up 2 cents. Yeah, what's up, 2 Cent?
What's going on, Fanon?
Nah, nothing,
Um,
man. Just talking.
Real quick, I think this is an interesting topic. I was talking about it on my panel the other day about people thinking that the Canelo Crawford fight has sold 50. I know it's a change of topic, but they sold 58,000 tickets, and I'm just I was just curious on why people thought that this fight has sold 58,000 tickets, and they seem to think that because they're both pound for pound and they both been undisputed and that those accolades sell a fight. And I was trying to explain to them, and I want to get your 2 cents about this. I was trying to explain to them that you can't just pull a fight out of thin air. Usually, big fights have a storyline. They've been built up for years. A lot of times, both fighters have like a big fan base, and they come together. So the thought of Canelo and Crawford selling out a stadium, to me, it just logically doesn't make any sense. What do you think about that?
I think they're giving away them tickets. I think they
They
I
compliment.
think they snatched all those I think they snatched all those tickets off the market so they didn't have any type of problem with the tickets looking like they were sold so that they could create try to create an aura that the fight everybody wants to be there. So like that's when you remember when Anthony Joshua was fighting in the UK and he used to sell out stadiums in like 30 seconds. That is the
Yeah,
part that's part of selling it. When the truth of the matter is, they just took it all and gave it to secondary. They took all the tickets and gave them to secondary ticket markets or secondary ticket sellers. So more than likely, all of those tickets are with secondary vendors that are trying to distribute the ticket. So I don't think that who knows what that's going to be, but I don't think they're going to make any money in that fight because they're not having it on pay-per-view. They got to pay Netflix to have the fight. Then they're going to put it in a big ass stadium where you're not going to make the revenue. There's no way that you're going to make the revenue that you would make in a fight like one where do they fight? You're not going to have the gate that Errol and Terence
Allegiant,
had. Yeah,
Allegiant
it'd be
Stadium.
better off putting Canelo in any of those. And you're going to get a $20 million gate. They're not going to get a $20 million gate because you can't sell $1,000 tickets and nosebleeds in a stadium. Like
Yeah,
there's a reason that if boxing matches made more money in stadiums, then these Americans would be fighting in stadiums. But because you can make more money in an arena where you have high rollers rolling and they're paying crazy amounts of money for the tickets, and sometimes the hotels will buy the tickets to get the high rollers there, and it's a better environment where everybody can see the fight. You can't even see the fucking fight in a football stadium. Who's going to pay that type of money to sit way back? Like it's not 1920. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I know Spence fights in the AT&T Stadium, but I went to the Danny Garcia fight when he fought at the AT&T Stadium. It was decent, but it also wasn't 65,000 seats. It was part of it was blocked off. You know what I'm saying? And
Uh,
my thing is like I don't understand how people are just overlooking all logic. Like 58,000 tickets is crazy to me. And do you think ICE will affect Canelo sales? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious.
I think ICE will definitely affect people going up into a lot of Mexicans being out there sitting outside. Yeah. Well, because I just came from LA and man, they told people they got people all through LA saying, because I was in South Central and my aunt by marriage, they said, yeah, they told us what to do. ICE come knocking on your door. You got to have a piece of paper ready because they're knocking on people's doors in Cali. So yeah,
Man,
if you have 15,000 Mexicans huddled in one place and they trying to arrest 3,000 people, what is it, 3,000 people a week? Is the goal they have for that? Yeah, I could definitely see
mm,
that being that could be, a target for mass deportations out of that place.
exact. So that makes it even less logical that they've sold 58,000 tickets. The fact that it's on a Friday, and isn't it starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
That's what they said, or 8. I thought it starts at 3, or they said at 8. The thing they said the fight's
I don't
8.
know if it starts at 3 and the main event gonna be at 8, but I brought that point up too, and then I also brought up the point that you got 58,000 tickets sold, but the hotel's not even booked. So like, how is this making any sense to anybody? Like, I
They're
just
not real. These people are not real. I'm sorry, I'm not psycho. I am kind of psycho at times, but I ain't psycho about this. These
I mean,
people
it's
are
just
not real.
common sense.
They're not real. These are
And,
they're so much into the promotion. Like, do you remember when, like, let
and
me
the
put it this way.
promotion is trash.
They think everything is in like the number of impressions that they get. I don't know. I don't think that these guys have ever really gotten into like just get on the ground and promote fights the way that they're supposed to be promoted. You get in contact, you touch people, you ask them to buy the fight, but you get a fight that people are actually asking for, so that way they will want to buy it. When you just put two people together, slap them together, and start promoting it and spending a lot of money, that doesn't mean that it's gonna immediately transition to money. Like, for example, I did this video, shameless plug. Please watch the Muhammad Ali video on MH Blackwell. Okay. Seriously, I'm not gonna make a lot of money on that particular video, despite the fact that I spent 1,000 times more energy doing that than I would do against just a casual Errol Spence conversation. The amount of work I put into that video is not going to translate immediately into money like that. I'm going to have to do like 15, I'm going to have to do like 15, 20, 30 of them before I get an audience that is set looking at that. You can't just slap it together and think that shit's going to fly. And the fact of the matter is, they have been really working hard. And I'm telling you, people that have been anti-PBC, they worked very, very hard to destabilize American boxing by blackballing all of the PBC for years. And they absolutely did it because they didn't want Don King 2.0. So they just destabilized the shit. Now these people are trying to come in and capitalize on a market that's been destabilized, but the essence of it has always been the different ethnicities in America. So as long as the PBC sells to black people, they're going to make money. These international people are never going to make money because they're not trying to make money. What they're trying to do is trying to run everybody else out of business because they feel like they can lose more money than these other people can lose. But here's the thing. If the PBC doesn't lose money, then you can't put them out of business because they're being profitable every step of the way. But the damage that is going to be done to American boxing it's going to be significant. It really is, but I don't think it's going to be significant necessarily for black American fighters. Because
so you're saying that they're willing to ruin boxing to try to take down Al Heyman?
Yes, or to make sure. Look, before there was Al Heyman, there was Don King. Before there was Bob Arum and Don King, there was the mob. Right? That's the order of the people that have run boxing. All right, like. And it's a little bit of a history lesson. Back in the 1790s, like when boxing was originally established, it was an aristocratic sport in that it was paid for by wealthy people. Like they weren't selling tickets to fights and all of that stuff. It was a very rich man that had some broke ass dude from Yorkshire and another guy who didn't want to who was another aristocrat, had a fighter that was fighting for him so that these two guys would fight each other and they could kill each other, but the two aristocrats could be friends after that, right? They exchange money, they bet money, but they don't have to kill each other anymore. That's how boxing was invented. That's where it started. Because in France, when people used to beef, they would pull out a stiletto knife and say, okay, I'm here, nigga. Yeah. And that was like aristocrats were doing that shit. They were killing each other in the streets, like dying. Like if one would say something about the other one's wife, man, that man is going to go over there and kill you. They were like for real killing people, right? So boxing originally in the UK, that was the purpose that it served, for wealthy people to be able to work out their difficulties with using other people to fight for them. They're champions. So what I see Turki Al-Sheikh is just one of those guys. He's an aristocrat that is looking to have people be champions for him so that he can gamble money, he can play around with other very wealthy people. That's the only way that boxing in Saudi Arabia can possibly be working, because those guys ain't buying tickets to that fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? Those are a bunch of Saudi royals, Saudi royal family, and a bunch of friends of his. That's what he is trying to take boxing back to being. His own personal playground. So, but he wants to put it on TV so everybody in America can look up to him and can look up to Saudi Arabia. It's very clear that that's what they're doing, and they don't care about losing money. But in the United States, it's that shit is not going to fly in the United States. That ring card boy shit that they're pushing, there's already going to be too much pushback on that shit. There's already too much pushback on all that, on the quote unquote woke shit. So what I'm saying is, after it shifted from the aristocrats, then it shifted to a guy named Tex Rickard, and the mob started kind of running it out of New York. And then after that, when Ali, and that's why I did that video, I didn't really highlight it in the video as much, the fact that he kind of was able to break away from the mob, but he broke away from the mob because he had the strength of the Nation of Islam. Then he basically founded Top Rank and Don King. And boxing was doing very well under the structure that Muhammad Ali set up. So because the Nation of Islam set that shit up, because it's two organizations that were backed by Ali. Bob Arum and the Nation of Islam Bob Arum and Top Rank was founded by the Nation of Islam. Don King's first big fights came because he was with Lewis, I think it was Lloyd Boyd or something. Lloyd, somebody. Is a guy that you see in the When We Were Kings video. But he was instrumental in getting Don King and Ali together. And boxing was run between Don King and Bob Arum all the way up into the 2000s until they eventually got rid of Don King. And because they wanted to, and they whitened up Top Rank. And then Don King eventually got frozen out when they shifted from just making fights where you had to sell tickets and doing closed circuit TV, until when you had HBO started paying money for fights. And then when HBO started paying money for fights and paying big fees for fights, that's when you saw them start bringing in Eastern Europeans. And then it's just gone from there. But it's always, in my opinion, been back to the boxing being used for the aggrandizement and gambling pleasures of the super wealthy. Because clearly, Turki Al-Sheikh is not by himself. He's getting backed by people that just were like, we don't care. We want the fights. Pay whatever money so that we can be seen as the Lord and Savior of these poor people. Meanwhile, Turki Al-Sheikh is really having blood and gut death matches and shit in sparring clubs where we don't have medical people there. Some people are fighting, the other people are sparring, and all the other drama that took place in those vicious spar clubs. Man, there are some real scumbag ass people in the world, and not all scumbags are in the streets. Some of these scumbags are royals. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry, I know I went in for a while.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I think people need to hear this. You mentioned the sparring club thing. Is that what's going on now with this new sparring thing they got going on? That you was
that's some dangerous ass shit that they're doing. They got to get it out of the United States. It's not legal. It's not legal. You can't go. Go ahead.
But why do they want to come and turn boxing into such this brutal sport, right? Because my thing is, boxing is a skill sport. It's a skill sport. So this whole, I want to see blood, and because did you see when Turkey posted that this is boxing with Hergovich and Adiel? How do you say his name?
Oh, what is it? Adeli?
Yeah.
David Adelaide or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah. Give me a second, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, look, man. Oh, some Ness from the Boxing Voice has been going heavy at Al Heyman. I was thinking he's a known. Look, bro, all these. I don't want to talk about. I'm not going to mention any more YouTube channels' names. I'm really, really sick of it. To tell you the truth, extremely sick of it. You're not going to hear anything good about Al Heyman from those people. You're not gonna. And you're not good because they want to be Al Heyman. And they don't want Al Heyman to be successful. Muddy Water said Al Heyman got to be mob tied. Look, I'm not going to talk about the mafia anymore. I'm trying not to talk about any of that type of stuff anymore. You know what I mean? The Royals cut off Harry for making a mulatto. Oh no, they got a lot of mulatto. They got mulatto Royals for making a mulatto. That's funny. Nah, but I mean seriously, man, that's what Turkey Al-Sheikh looks like to me. I'm just telling you the truth. It looks like a scenario where this dude and those guys they're just arrogant beyond arrogant. They're used to people treating them like gods and treating them like kings. And I'm 100% believe that Turkey Al-Sheikh was behind a lot of this stupid shit that happened with me. Well, people tried to make happen with me. Whatever, dog. Like I said before, I think dude's a peon at the end of the day. I know that may sound bizarre for me to say that, but bro, for real, I'm not sweating that guy. I really just want Eddie Hearn. Just let Americans promote Americans, man. How many Americans do you see promoting British guys? Like, seriously.
I think Booth's making a huge mistake with his career over there with Eddie Hearn, in my opinion.
Man, I don't like him.
Not an American promoter. He has no idea how to promote to an African American market, and it's showing.
Yep. What was on your mind before you left, though?
Somebody walked in here and started talking to me. I lost my train of thought.
No worries.
What was we talking about?
I think we were talking about
out of America.
Yeah.
I think we've seen it several times where they try to come in and try to push the UK or European fighters on us, but it just doesn't work like that. And I think it's like people not realizing, you see global numbers from Turkey and it's like 350,000. When people doing 200 and 300,000 in the US alone. And this belief that, why does boxing have to only be in America? Like, nobody's saying it only has to be in America, but it just makes more sense to fight in America. If you're American, you don't need to travel the world. You can do everything you need to do here in America, as long as you build a fan base. It's so crazy that even if you big in a state like Texas or Philly or whatever state you're big in, you can fight in that state and make a decent amount of money. You don't have to go all around traveling the globe. Like, this whole thought of boxing don't only got to be in America. It doesn't only have to be in America, but that
don't mean we got to leave.
Exactly. That doesn't mean we have to leave.
Yeah, that's a false choice. They keep saying that shit. That's a false choice. I'm definitely not saying that you can't have boxing in the UK. Shit, I used to enjoy watching boxing in the UK. People like the fights between Conor Benn. Now, it was Nigel Benn and Chris Eubanks Sr. There's a lot of really great UK wars that took place, man. But that doesn't mean that we have to go to the UK. That doesn't mean that you get to want to gut our entire fucking domestic fight scene. The thing is that our domestic level fighting is world level. When you see somebody like Gervonta fight Lamont Roach, why would Lamont Roach, in order to get the best fight at lightweight, why in the fuck would Lamont Roach have to go to Saudi Arabia to get it? Lamont Roach doesn't have to leave his hometown to fight one of the best fighters in the world. You guys have to come here to fight the best fighters in the world. That's what because you know why? Because you're not going to travel to South America. Are you going to go down to where you talk about fighting need to be global? Where's your fights in Panama? When the fuck are you guys going to put fights on in Brazil? When are you going to do that? Where are your fights in Argentina? Since you want to talk about the only way that you can be global is if you deal with the UK. Those are the only people that talk that dumb shit about being global because they're fucking ignorant about the United States. First of all, let's talk about real politics here. You live in a state called Great Britain. That is a state. Literally. That's why you call your prime minister the head of state. State is where you have a border around it and people in it. That is a state. Guess what we have? States. We are the United States. We are basically fucking NATO, but with a bunch of individual and separate states. Now, we are not a country because we have a federal system, which makes it a country. But that's because we have a federalist system on top of states that are bigger than your countries. Okay? We have something called the Monroe Doctrine, where we are going to make, and we are trying to literally, these niggas want to annex Canada. If you gave it to them, and if they had the desire, they would try to invade fucking Mexico. We have half the world over here. You guys are not talking about global. You're talking about the Eastern Hemisphere. That's all you mean. You want us to cross over and leave the Western Hemisphere and come to the Eastern Hemisphere. That we can travel from Canada to Mexico, and that's just as global as you going from Great Britain to Saudi Arabia. The only difference is there's no federal state on top of it. That's the only difference. And I don't believe that the UK has any states in it. Aren't you just a country with cities? You may have different regions, but you don't have any states, do you? So if you guys don't understand our political system, you would think that, oh, we're just one state. But it's the United States. We have 50 of them. And all 50 of them have their own economies, with their own cultures, with their own police forces, with their own interrelations, their own towns. We are not like Europe. We are bigger than Europe. So how can you be global when you go somewhere that may only be 50 miles away from you by train, and you've skipped over 3 states that you call countries, but they're only states. They're just small states, all part of NATO, which is why we got to pay for all of y'all out of our goddamn taxes all the time. Okay? People are sick, just like I'm telling you as an American, I get sick to death of listening to people from outside the United States talk about how we think that we are so totally self-included. You know what? Because we are. We don't need you. And that has been the problem in the United States for a while. We never needed you to make cars for us. We could have made our own damn cars. But what happens? Globalists want to make some extra change, so they take the manufacturing and they ship the shit to Japan. Or they take the manufacturing and they ship it to some third world country. So we don't need you pumping our boxing money out of the United States into your bank in the UK, because that's what Eddie Hearn is doing. Eddie Hearn comes over here, takes his change, makes fights. He's included in the cost. So even though he's losing money, he's still making money himself, and maybe he can counterbalance it over there in the UK. But I'm just sick of y'all. Go away. Don't nobody want to be the king of Great Britain. Ain't nobody care. You got one fighter in fucking Spain, Sandor Martin. How many fighters they got in Italy? 2? 1, 2? How many fighters they got in Germany? They got more fighters in the Ukraine than they got in Great Britain. Anyway, man, that shit to me is treasonous, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I told somebody America First who was talking about boxing. They said I was trying to gaslight them. I'm like, how am I trying to gaslight you? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for you to be a star, quote unquote, and you fighting all the way in Saudi Arabia on undercard.
Why would you?
Why would you do that?
Unless you're going, you know what?
It's for the bag, so you can't produce a bag for yourself over here. What you say?
You know how they can go there? You should go overseas if you can sell out a stadium yourself overseas. That's the only time an American should have to go overseas. Listen to me for a second. If a U.S. boxer goes overseas, it should be like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali goes overseas. He fought Joe Frazier overseas. Not because of somebody that was like, oh, we're trying to change the center of boxing. No, because he had so many fans in the Philippines that he could go to the Philippines. The reason he could go to the reason that Muhammad Ali went to Africa is because he has so many African fans that he could sell out a stadium there too. The reason he went those places is because he could sell out himself. He was literally going to see his own fans in another country. Unless you have fans in that country, there's no reason to go. If you go, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be Nonito Donaire in Japan, and you're going to lose your fucking gloves and be like, what the fuck happened to my gloves? That's what happened. But if you're a star when you go over there, that's a completely different story. Mike Tyson can go to Japan. You know why? Because Mike Tyson's going to sell more tickets in Japan than Monster Inoue would. If Muhammad Ali was alive and fighting right now and he went to Japan, he would be much bigger in Japan than Monster Inoue is. You know why? Because our musicians are probably, they got K-pop musicians, right? K-pop is nothing but black music that Koreans are now selling in mass. You think Michael Jackson went to Korea or would go to Japan because he had his fans there. We are popular because we're in the United States. And that's why I always say, if a black person in the United States gets full support from black people in the United States, that's all we need. We are automatically global. Automatically. We don't need to go here, go there, go here. We don't. It's called a hub and spoke. You niggas are you know what a hub and spoke look like? Remember you ride bicycles?
Yeah.
Yeah. United States is the hub. You all are the spokes. We don't have to go out to the spoke when you were born in the hub. That makes no sense. Why would you leave why would you leave your hub? Even if you think about it in a metaphor about how well you do fights consistently. If you keep jumping all over the place, Brian Norman, you're never going to get a fan base that's consistent. You won't. Brian Norman Jr., I got respect for Brian Norman Sr. Brian Norman Sr. said some shit that I was just like, dude, you're tripping like a mother. You're tripping. When he said that Brian Norman, like, we going international. That's what world champions do. They travel the world. Bro, the United States is in the world. The United States is in the world. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. never went over to Europe. Never. When was the last time Manny Pacquiao fought in the fucking Philippines? When? When did Manny Pacquiao leave the United States after Manny Pacquiao got big in the United States? When did Lennox Lewis leave the United States after Lennox Lewis got big in the United States? You got a bunch of people that can come to the United States and get big in the United States. But we can't stay in the United States and get big ourselves? What sense does that make? You all can come to the United States and get big in the United States. You can have Canelo Alvarez, US. Nobody's getting mad at Canelo for fighting in the United States. But people that can sell tickets in the United States got to go somewhere else to prove what? That shit don't make no sense. Sorry, 2 Cent, I was kind of dominating today. Boxing and fencing replaced duels and gunfights. Yeah, they did. Kamal says, Turkey sees himself as the emperor, as a Roman emperor presenting gladiators to an arena. That is how he views himself and boxers. Pure amoral entertainment. Thoughts? Well, look.
Wait, before you switch to that, let me say this real quick about the last topic. I think that's a common misconception I keep hearing pushed is that, they can fight overseas because they can get more eyes on them, which I've already told you, the global numbers is still not as big as they are in the U.S. And 2, you don't become a global star by traveling globally. You become a global star from where you are. You don't have to travel. You see what happened when Shakur was Saudi, he got booed.
Say again,
he
I'm
got
sorry.
booed. And I'm like, how is he getting booed in Saudi? They don't even applaud. So why is Shakur Stevenson getting booed? Like, I to this day, nobody has been able to explain that to me. But my point I was trying to say is they keep saying these fighters going overseas to get the bag and they're getting more eyes on them globally. And it's like, no, they're not. And just because people see you globally, that don't mean they're going to be a fan. That's not how that works. You do not become a global star traveling globally. You become a star in your city. You become a star in your state. You become a star in your country, and then you become a star globally. It's steps to it. You don't get to skip. You're not going to become a star fighting on the undercard. You're not going to get eyes on you and become a global star. You're not even the main event. And I don't think people understand that. Like, they just keep repeating and regurgitating this stuff that if you don't think about it, it sounds good. But when you think about it logically, it just doesn't make any sense.
That's the same. They got the UK is using like some very stock arguments. Like, you know, it's them every time they say it. Like, they'll make this argument that the UK is really better at boxing because look at our population and look at your population. We have 14 world champions. I think they don't have any right now. They may have one. I don't know if one of them guys still got one. Say they got two. One or two of these guys got some championship belts. They'll say, and we always have, I'm telling you, Tuesday, we keep between 12 and 15 world champions at any time. We got 12 to 15 of them, right? Twice, almost 3 times more than the closest competitor, which, by the way, is Mexico, and not anywhere over there in Europe. None of those European countries have a lot of champions. None of them. Except for the only place where they got overseas where they got a lot of champions is Japan. Because there's just nobody, they're so fucking, those weight classes are so small that nobody fights in them. But anyway, man, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Oh, you was answering Kamal's question.
Oh, Kamal. Oh, yeah. Me, as Turkey sees himself as a Roman emperor presenting gladiators to an arena. Look, I think that he's very, what do you call it? Inconsistent and arbitrary. So when Devin Haney and those guys stunk that place up like that, I think his arbitrariness went all the way to the other end. So yes, I do believe now that you're going to see him because he doesn't want that criticism again. You're going to wind up seeing a lot of very savage fights. You're going to see a lot of guys hurt. And I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some guys start dying. Like you saw 2 people dying in Japan. I mean, if you got a bunch of guys going through those spar clubs and all of that, that's exactly what it is. These guys aren't even getting paid. You're basically just throwing them peanuts for an opportunity to be for their Rocky opportunity or something.
So did he lie about that? About them being able to fight on the did he lie about them being able to fight on the card with Canelo and Crawford?
I think he said that they would, but then they wound up not getting put on there anyway. So, I mean, like I said, he's arbitrary. He's arbitrary. He's going to make decisions based off what he feels that moment. That's what he seems to be. He just seems to be very arbitrary. So I want this. Oh, no, I don't want that. Oh, I've seen enough of this Bivol Beterbiev fight, so we don't need a trilogy on that one, but we need a trilogy on on Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Why? Because if Tyson Fury can beat Usyk, then UK boxing's back in order. You know, he's just arbitrary, bro. Arbitrary as far as his moves with individual boxers. But from what I can see, as far as his personality, I just think he's a little fucking dick. That's all, man. Because if you get this, why are you always putting yourself in the front of the camera? Most people, and he wants to talk all the time, and he's constantly putting himself as being the centerpiece of everything. So, you know, Bob Arum isn't even like that. Don King was like that, but even Don King is not as bad as Turki Al-Sheikh is. That's my take on it.
Well, Don King was a much better promoter. But I'm going to hop off here for now. I got to get back to work.
All right.
Good chit-chatting with you today.
Yes, ma'am. Take care. Peace. Man, Sean Fresh said, Diddy all in the air. Diddy's all in the videos, man. Diddy be all up in the videos. I'm not a big fan, man. But like I said, Zulu Line, what up, man? Oh, come on. Yep, sure is a link. Diddy all in the video. Yeah, that's Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh just wants to be known so bad. Not a big fan. Hurry up, bro. I got about 20 minutes left. if Brian Norman Jr. versus Boots, I think will eventually fight each other whenever boxers have a rivalry. It's a chance to make money off it, like Spence Crawford. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see that. I like Brian Norman I like Brian Norman. I'm excited about Brian Norman. Oh, by the way, also, let me tell you why these guys are starting to fight over those Turkey Al-Sheikh cards. Because Top Rank was losing their contract. So if you look at Abdullah Mason, Abdullah, who is it? Abdullah. What's up, Kamal? You there, Kamal? You're on mute.
Fanon, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. I know you were about to get off, so I appreciate you extending me the opportunity.
Oh, cool. No worries.
So a couple of things. Number one, I think the Canada annexing Canada when Trump was doing that, I think that was a troll. The time to annex Canada was after the War of 1812. That was partially why we had the War of 1812 with England, and the Canadians were.
Hold on. Let me say.
Okay.
I mean by that. I mean that is the American mentality.
Gotcha. Okay.
If I was just trying to explain the Monroe Doctrine, and I'm saying, I know that's not anything they can really do. I'm just saying that our interest in the United States in the Eastern Hemisphere is primarily some trade and majority military. We hold down the Western Hemisphere. And that's what I think a lot of people in the US don't understand. People in the UK don't understand is that we really are half the fucking world over here. So we don't have to go over there to be global any more than you got to come over here to be global. There's plenty of room. We don't need that. We don't need to go over there. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah. And I think with the Mexico thing, that was more to kind of, provide a little contrast. That's more because of we've been so invested in stuff that's like in, Asia or Europe, as you said, holding down NATO. NATO is, someone who's formerly in the military and in the army, served overseas. That was designed for us to check the Soviet Union. Once the Soviet Union collapsed, technically speaking, NATO should have disbanded. And like you said perfectly, Fanon, NATO has become America subsidizing these socialist European countries who teach their kids that America has done nothing for them despite us protecting them from the Soviet Union, and then allowing them to spoil their citizens with free healthcare and all these other benefits while we deny our citizens that because we're doing all the heavy lifting in NATO the same way Errol Spence did all the heavy lifting in the welterweight division. So yes, you're right, Fanon. Americans have a legitimate bone to pick about how NATO's been completely imbalanced, Fanon.
Hold on one second. Brother, I'm a political science major, and this man is an expert in international relations. I don't give a shit whether you're in the military or not, bro. Fuck off, okay? And I'm trying to be polite, but dude, I'm not going to do a whole lot of this shit. All right? You guys keep coming under the same name saying more dumb shit just because you want to argue about something. He is not wrong about NATO. And by the way, you learned that shit in high school, okay? If you actually paid halfway attention to your fucking history classes, if you're from the US, you would know that what this man just said is true, and you know what I'm saying is true. Whether or not you agree with the interpretation can be something else. But I know for sure we don't fucking need none of you bum-ass countries in Europe. The only fucking reason that we are always told we need you is in case Russia and China decide to kill all of you. Because Russia and China could kill all of you without us. Okay? And a whole lot of people in the United States are sick of spending all our money to protect you all from getting ran over by Attila the Hun. Okay? Because Attila the Hun would run the fuck over you again. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you nailed it, Fanon. And I'm not wrong about NATO. This is an idiot. This is a paid troll. So I will do a little bit of a counterfactual on that. I think we do need the UK. I think one of the great things that happened with the War of 1812 is prior to that, us and the UK were enemies. And after that war, we could finally put all that behind us and we could have one of the greatest alliances. So, and that's the thing with NATO, Fanon, and this is a thing that a lot of people are pissed off on. So America's doing all the heavy lifting with NATO. We're one of the only countries that meets a meager 2% national defense spending, and all of our actions have been done to help Europe. Think about the 90s, Fanon. we were in stuff that had nothing to do with our American national security. And you guys who are, and I'm not either of these political parties, but you guys that are big Clinton fans and lied and said this guy was the first black president who ignored the Rwanda genocide when all he had to do was take off the airwaves, Hutu hate radio, Fanon. That's all we had to do. We didn't have to send any boots on the ground. If you've seen Hotel Rwanda and you've seen Once Upon a Time in April, if you guys know about the Rwanda genocide, watch it, because that's why Congo's so messed up at over 10 million people. So when you say Clinton was the first black president, you're wrong. But let me say this. We
Oh,
went
and
into
make sure they know
Bosnia
that I
and
didn't say
Kosovo.
that shit.
Okay.
Make sure they know I didn't say that shit.
I said it.
Yeah, because I don't trust the Southern. No, I'm saying that I didn't say that he was the first black president. I don't trust a Southern Democrat for shit.
No, I
Southern
don't trust
Democrat
any
ain't
of them.
a Republican waiting to happen.
I don't trust any of them. So I
There
can
you
tell
go.
you this 100% straight up. I don't like the two-party system. So we had all this in the 90s, for now. If you remember Bosnia and Kosovo and all this other stuff, this 100% benefited Europe. Clinton got us into those messes, and we talk about no forever wars. We're still there. 40 years after the fact, and you talk about Iraq and Afghanistan, horrible things. A lot of Iraq was definitely a big mistake, but not even there as long as we were in the Balkans. Has nothing to do with American national security, and Clinton sold it. It was to protect Europe. So you're right, the American taxpayer has a right to be pissed off with NATO, because we were doing for a long time, for now, we were doing all the heavy lifting with Ukraine. We were the only ones sending them offensive military weapons. Had nothing to do with our national security as much as it was Europe. You could make the argument that if Russia takes over Europe, then they would come to the United States, but I don't think they were strong enough to do that. So the American taxpayer 100% has a right to be upset with what NATO has done, with America doing all the heavy lifting for an area that has become less and less strategic since the collapse of the Soviet Union, while the Europeans teach their spoiled children to hate America, that America is the source of all the wrong in the world. And I don't include the UK as part of Europe. In that way, I will just distinguish between the two. And so we have a legitimate gripe to play, because while Europe was doing that and they're being disappreciative, what has happened, Fanon? While Macron in France, and you can look this up, jabronis in the audience, Macron in France was criticizing Trump for saying he was going to cut aid to Ukraine. At the same time, he was welcoming Xi and telling Xi, if you go to war against Taiwan, we want the EU, the European Union, to be neutral. So the Europeans want to have their cake, Fanon, and eat it too. They want us to do all the heavy lifting in Ukraine and send all of our taxpayer monies while they tiptoe and do stuff like that. But then when it comes to Xi, they want to kiss his ass, and then they want to stay on the sidelines when it comes to Taiwan. Why is China and Taiwan important, you jabronis? More important than what you've been told is because Taiwan makes all the chips, Fanon, computer chips for the cars and the computers. If Taiwan is taken over before the manufacturing base of the computer chips is relocated offshore or diversified, the international market, the international economy will have a huge problem. And that's why people are talking up the quote unquote China threat. That's why you're seeing South Korea and Japan increase their military spending. The Philippines do so. The countries that realize China's imperial ambitions and how that could hurt their economies, the ones closest to China, they are signing up to this defense pact with America. Now, the countries that have taken America for granted, that have sucked off the tit of America's spending and benefited, and then told their citizens bad things in continental old Europe. You remember when when Rumsfeld called Europe old Europe, Fanon, in like 2000? Old Europe is sucking up to China because they want to have it both ways, Fanon. They want us to do all the heavy lifting and all the spending to help their defenses when they're perfectly capable of going into the Balkans and being in forever deployments and wars and stuff like that. But they want us to do it. So the whole Mexico thing was, hey, look, the priority, America's focused on all this other stuff internationally, when in reality, the drug cartels are fueling and have taken over the global migration crisis. They've taken over the coyotes that ship people across the border, and they've taken over the fentanyl production that has killed a lot of Americans and a lot of the cocaine smuggling and stuff. So people are saying, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just presenting their perspective. They're saying we're focused on all this other stuff, this Europeanization, this Eurocentric foreign policy, when that's not America's foreign policy. That's not America's interest anymore. It was during the time of the Soviet Union, but now we are much more affected by what's going on in Latin America, by the cartels in Mexico shipping fentanyl and stuff like that to America, and what's going on with the cocaine in Colombia and stuff like that, and the smuggling, the waves of smuggling, where some of the neighboring countries in Latin America said we're going to destabilize America like Venezuela has, then we are what's going on in Europe. So that was a counterpoint. Last thing, and I'll end with this phenomenon. The analogy that I think is perfect for boxing, what you're wanting to use, is you're wanting to use soccer. So I'm a big soccer fan, Fanon. So in soccer, whether you're from Africa, it's a global sport. Whether you're in Africa, South America, Mexico, now more recently the United States, Asia, if you're really good, you develop in your country before, if you don't get scouted by a European scout first and sent to an academy in Europe, and then you sign for a big major club in Europe, Chelsea in England, Manchester United, Arsenal, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and you play your international ball. When you're an elite soccer player, you play it in Europe. You play your domestic league in Europe. You play the European International League, the Champions League, the UEFA League in Europe. We're just trying to get some balance here for now. We're trying to get La Liga and the European and the Premier League in England to have 1 or 2 games in the United States, and the fans are against it. It's the same concept with boxing, Fanon. You get discovered in your first few fights in Argentina, in Ghana, in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Mexico. And if you're good enough, if you have the personality, then you can come to America, in the UK even. Carl Froch, what was his biggest regret, Fanon? Carl Froch said he always wanted to fight under the bright lights in Las Vegas. He said that was his biggest regret. That's the analogy you're utilizing, Fanon, that we need to utilize. Boxing is like soccer, okay? These other countries are kind of like satellites. They dream of coming to America. Unless you're like an Inoue, where you can, in Japan, you have that market, you have that popularity, and you don't need to leave that. But that's 1% of all boxers. It's the same analogy with soccer and boxing. That's why American boxers don't need to continuously fight overseas. It's the same analogy with international soccer and the elite of soccer. With that, I'm out. Deuces.
All right, brother. What's going on, Joey?
How's it going, Fanon? I wanted to
Well,
just good to hear from you, man. I'm just taking a quick drive, so I thought, let me chime in. What can I listen to today? And
good to
yeah,
see you again, brother.
yeah, we're good, man. Just listening to Kamal Oz there, I have to respectfully disagree with some points, and also I agree with some other points that you said a little bit earlier. I guess I'll start with Kamal since he's the most fresh. When he says
Okay.
he makes a comparison between football, what we call football, or let's just say soccer, we do as the Romans do, soccer, right? It isn't the same for one particular reason: the governing bodies, man. Like, that's the problem with boxing in the first place. Like, if boxing can really clean up the way that it's governed and structured, then America can actually go ahead and stake the claim the same way like an English Premier League does, or the UEFA, which is the European League, where there's billions upon billions of pounds and
I don't think that's
being
what he's saying.
funneled.
I don't
Okay,
think
so
that's
maybe
what he was saying.
so
He
in
wasn't
what
saying
respect is he?
he's saying that it's similar to respect to soccer in that you grow, you become an outstanding in your local area first. And after you become outstanding in your local area first, then scouts will see you. And if you wind up being of that level of player, then you're going to wind up training in Europe. That's what they said. Like, they're going to move you to Europe if you get up to a certain level. Just like tennis in the United States, If you get up to a certain level of tennis in the United States, you're going to move to Florida. Like you just have to go to Florida. And if you get to a certain level internationally, you also usually start training in Florida. There are international hubs, but what they're saying is that you really do start off by dominating your local community before you can ever even consider becoming global. That's what I think he meant to say.
Yeah, that even then I still like. Well, yeah, I still disagree because that's just not how it works. And like, there's something called
How
a
does that
catchment.
work like that?
Yeah, so there's something called a catchment. So when it comes to like football, I'm going to use football because that's what I'm
We're not
familiar
on
with.
football. I don't want to argue about football. He used football as an example. We're talking about boxing.
Okay, yeah. So all right, let's just move away from that then, right? The thing that I do agree with.
I mean, I can't speak about soccer. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that what he was saying with this didn't make sense. But anyway, with the what I do agree with is this is that people or boxers from all over the world, they want to try their best to get to America, right? And it's a very simple reason, right? It's very simple. America's the biggest market, not just boxing, just in general. It's the biggest market for most things, man. So people are always going to be chasing money because people are looking to survive. They're looking for the bag, right? So it just makes sense. And the opposite is going to occur with a promoter. A promoter who's in Uzbekistan is going to love to promote American fighters, right? And if they are promoting American fighters in America, then they're also going to want to try and bring in one of their Uzbekistani fighters to fight them as well.
But when do we fight? Why would a United States boxer be fighting for you? Because you was
right. Great question.
Why would
yeah.
you do that?
Yeah. So the only thing that I can think of, well, there's a few, but the one that really is on top of my mind is you alluded to it earlier. You said that the fans when fans get behind their fighter, you don't need anything else. And that's 100% true. That's what I agree with. However, that is not the case. In America, it's brutal. If you lose once, you're a bum. You're this, you're that.
That's not
right?
true. That's
Wait.
not true. Absolutely not true.
Okay.
That is,
if you just
let me interject here for a second. That's not true. That's what the media does. The media that does not, the international media, because most of the boxing media of the international media is in the United States too. The Boxing Writers Association of America is the number one media machine for boxing. Easy.
You're proving my point. You're proving my point. Proving
your point.
No,
I'm going to argue against your point when I'm done.
Well, maybe I should make my point then.
Listen, no, you said something that was absolutely positively wrong. But go ahead.
Yeah, and let me make my point then.
Go ahead.
Because the point that I'm making is that when somebody loses, right? If someone loses or someone doesn't knock somebody out, it's an uproar. It's uproar on new media. It's uproar on old media. Period.
No, but it
doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Look, I can name fighters that have lost in the United States and didn't shit bad happen to them. Manny Pacquiao lost in the United States. Nothing bad happened to him.
I'm talking about American boxers.
I'm going to keep going. Oscar De La Hoya never lost, and nothing ever happened to him. Errol Spence Jr., you don't know that Errol Spence Jr. is not going to come back and sell out stadiums again. Muhammad Ali lost fights and came back and was huge after he lost fights. Mike Tyson lost fights, came back after lost fights and was huge. Evander Holyfield lost fights, came back and was huge.
The difference between what you and I are saying...
Roberto Duran, I can name him for days.
But the difference of what you're saying... Sorry.
Bernard Hopkins, no. None of it's not true. That in America, listen, it's just not true. That
you just made a point.
No, let me finish. It is uncategorically not true that if a fighter loses in the United States that they're done. Because I can give you.
No, I never said that. That's not what I'm saying, brother. What I'm saying is that they get ridiculed and get called a bum. Maybe you heard bum.
No, that's the fucking media.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Oh my God.
There's a difference, but there's a difference.
All right, man. All right, cool.
There's a difference between Blue Blood Sports TV, the Boxing Writers Association of America, and a bunch of scammers putting a bunch of bad names on black fighters. That happens whether you win or lose. Gervonta Davis gets trashed and he ain't never lost. Errol got trashed and he never lost. Ali got trashed before he ever lost. No, you're confusing them trashing black fighters.
I am not confused here.
And don't say
there's 2 points.
Don't say. Let me finish. Do not imply or say, because this is what I got. The implication of it is that once they lose, they're done. Whether you say they get a lot of criticism or not. No, black American fighters, stop. Black American fighters get criticism whether they win or lose.
Okay, great. And that's you're proving my point.
Deontay Wilder was 40. No, from you dudes, not from Americans that support him.
Oh my God, man.
You guys want a fucking hit campaign on Deontay.
Deuces, bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. You just want to go on a tirade again for whatever reason.
I don't, bro, but Joe,
just have a proper conversation. Joe, what stuff have I come with?
Joe, what conversation, times, bro? You're not gonna come with this American. You don't understand.
What are you talking about?
You don't understand America, Joe.
Listen, man. Like, just pause for a second, bro. First of all I'm saying to you is that the people who get ridiculed, the people that you had just mentioned, the people who came back from ridicule, Muhammad Ali, the Durans, the Pacquiaos, etc., that you just, Bernard Hopkins, you mentioned these names just now. And yeah, I agree, bruv. But what I'm saying to you, new media has got into it. You've made a point, which is fantastic. Yes, I also agree with that point. Bro. Oh my, I know. Let me make the point, man.
No, stop.
Let me make the point. No, you didn't. You're jumping to conclusions, brother.
Okay, bro.
Just
you got
pause.
3 minutes to make your point, Joe. You got 3 minutes.
Christ. No, I don't want to make a point. I don't want to anymore. Like it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to have these kind of conversations, man.
Bro,
so
Joe,
no. It's okay. It's okay. No. It's okay.
Joe, for me to have a conversation with you, Joe, you got to stop doing one thing. Please stop acting like you know what's going on with American boxing. Because you don't.
Who said anything about I know? Who said? So basically, I can come on your show and I can have a discussion, but I can't talk about American boxers? Get the hell out of here with that, man.
And now that you don't want me to cut you off when you say something wrong.
Joe.
Go ahead and get the hell out of here with that, man. That's nonsense.
Joe, hold on.
Come out of here, man. Hey, man, I'm not here to speak.
Let me speak to you.
Hold on. No, Joe, complete your whole statement, and I won't cut you off.
No, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. So enjoy your day. Come on, enjoy your day.
Let me speak to you. Let me speak to you a second. Joe, let me speak to you a second. Oh, he ran out of here.
Yeah, he ran out.
Ran out with like a tail between his legs. I was gonna.
I'm never gonna let Joe. I'm gonna let you go, Joe. I'm never gonna let you slide on that. Never. You absolutely positively said that fighters. The thing with America is when you lose, then you get dogged out. You're through. That's what you said, Joe. And I'm gonna stop you right there. You continually spread British propaganda on my channel. You may not know it's British propaganda, but it is British boxing propaganda. And you wanted me to listen to you talk forever while you set that main precedent, which was not true. Adrian Bronner can still sell fights, bro. Then don't run, Joe A. Go ahead, come on. That is true, Joe. That's what you said, bro. Go ahead, come on, my bad.
Joe A was wrong. You were right when we were comparing the analogy of soccer to football. I'm not getting in the minutia of the governing bodies and the corruption and all that. Like you said, Fernand, you are the expert on that. You can go into detail about the transition from the mob, when the mob controlled Vegas and boxing, to Don King and Top Rank. You can go into all that. The fact of the matter is, in boxing, other than...
Hold on a second. Hold on. Dude, I don't even fucking know you, bro. I don't even know who the fuck you are talking about. You're a big fan of mine. Nigga, you are not a big fan of mine, or I would know who the fuck you are. Thank you very much. What you want to do is you guys want to come in and slip in little bits of propaganda that are completely false. And I'm going to stop you as soon as you try to feed into somebody's brain that an American fighter is done when they lose. You guys criticize Americans whether we win or we lose. It doesn't matter. Gervonta Davis is an undefeated fighter, and he's got nonstop criticism for the last 5 years. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, you did, Joe. You don't hear what you say. That is what you said. Go ahead, come on. Bro, Remy, get the fuck out. Don't watch me again, bro. I'm not going to tolerate, and I don't care what
Get him out of here. Hey, block that guy, Remy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hit Tina Warwick. Can somebody unban Tina Warwick and hit the other dude?
Tina's cool.
No, I'm very serious. Let me finish this for one second. Come on, I'm going to let you cook, I promise. You motherfuckers are not going to get on here and spread any lies. The second you imply some shit that's wrong, I'm going to stop you. I don't do the shit that you niggas do, where you let somebody talk for 50 minutes, 19 of the fucking things are not true, and then you forget to address them by the time you get to point 20. An American fighter can lose and do just fine. Jermell Charlo lost to, who did he lose? He lost to Tony Harrison. He came back and he beat Tony Harrison. Plenty of fighters in America do well. The problem is the media itself. And as soon as you brought up new media, Joe, I'm going to stop you. As soon as you bring up new media, because new media ain't pushing no buttons. They ain't selling no tickets. They're not doing anything. Though if you listen to all the shit, the smoke you motherfuckers all keep blowing, your fights keep flopping. So Gervonta Davis's fights keep doing well, no matter what bullshit you say. And no matter what bullshit you say, Devin Haney keeps flopping. So no, you guys are just make-believe is what I'm saying. I can have a proper conversation, Joe. My problem is, Joe, I know you. You spread British propaganda on my damn channel. I've had to sit up here and listen to you tell me about Deontay Wilder and how Deontay Wilder doesn't even deserve a fight, doesn't deserve this fight, doesn't deserve that fight. Joe, stop it. Go ahead, come on. Sorry, man.
No, it's your show, Fanon. You never have to apologize. This is your platform. I'm a guest in your home.
Joe.
I need to wipe off. Joe, you ran out
Wait,
here.
before
no,
you stop, just calm down when you talk, though, please, because I don't have the.
Calm down. I will calm down.
Just be very direct.
I'm going to be direct.
Right.
And I'm going to be direct.
Go ahead.
So I'm a big soccer fan. I grew up playing soccer. My dad could have gone professional. He was that good. I go crazy for the World Cup, and I love the Premier League and La Liga. The same way, and I'm not talking about the minutia of governing bodies and corruption and all that. I'm not getting into that. I'm talking about the elite of the elite train in their home countries, in their home ground, unless Manchester City sends a scout out to Ghana and discovers them and brings them back to the academy. And that's like 0.001%. They get proven in their home leagues, and then they go to Europe where the big boy soccer is. It's the same idea with boxing.
You should just leave that analogy because you're off.
No,
I'm just going to be honest. Just leave it. Just leave.
No, I'm not off.
Hey, Joe,
I'm talking about. You're going to let me finish?
Hold on, come on. Now, Joe, you can't do that while you just got on me for doing it.
But it's off. It's off. That whole analogy is
still
off.
Doing
Man.
the same thing you told me not to do.
It says off. No, you're doing something else. That's something different. We'll get onto that in a second.
I didn't even finish. Joe, you're getting on.
Yeah, but it's off. That analogy is off.
Finish? It's not off.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just talking economics. I'm talking economics.
Okay, then stick to the economics of it.
And
Don't
prominence.
Leave soccer out of it because it's off.
No, where's the money?
Go ahead.
Where's the money?
Yes,
Is it in European leagues? Is it in European leagues or African leagues? Is it in the MLS, with the exception of Messi, a one-off, or is it in La Liga? How is it off? I'm just talking economics, prestige, and prominence.
That's
I lived in Latin America.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
That's all I'm saying, Joe. That's all I'm saying.
Perfect. Continue.
That's all I'm saying in terms of boxing. The money, by and large, for 99% of boxers, there are exceptions, is in America, under the bright lights in America. That's all I'm saying. I'm not getting into governing body and minutia. That's it.
And I'm in agreement of that, which I've said I'm in agreement of that. So, what's your point?
Well, I just wanted you to agree with that. I will say this, Joe.
I had already agreed with that.
All I'm saying this, and this is where I'll give you guys in the UK credit. You guys in
I
your
don't need
corporate
fucking. You
media.
don't need to give me no credit about
I'm
being
gonna
in the UK.
let me finish.
I don't care about all that. I
Let
don't
me
care about
finish.
UK and
I'm
US and
not
all
gonna.
that crap.
I'm not as divisive as you try to paint me out to be, Joe.
Me,
You're
I don't
trying to
paint
paint me out.
shit.
You are. You're not even letting me finish my point. You guys in your corporate
You
media.
guys. Here we go.
Let me finish.
You
I've been
guys.
to Europe. I don't mind the UK. I actually like the
I
UK.
don't
Okay.
care whether you like
Okay.
UK or not,
You
bro.
let me
Like I don't even.
finish.
Nah,
You're
Joe.
taking this as a
Hold on,
disrespectful thing,
hold
Joe.
on. Joe, come on, man. Don't be a hypocrite. I'm not yelling. Why you get to?
Man, you guys are talking crap. You guys talking about UK. Who cares about UK?
I'm
Who cares
bringing
about
up a
UK?
point that's sociological, Joe, that you don't
Go ahead.
understand. You don't
So,
understand.
I don't
In
understand.
America,
Go ahead.
we are dealing with a biased and corrupt corporate media that doesn't embrace the fighters that people like Fanon champion. This is why there was a space for YouTube boxing to grow, because even when Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder were going through people like knives and butter, corporate media was hating on them. I will give you credit in the UK because in the UK, Anthony Joshua is loved by everyone, win or lose. And when he was at the top of his game, unlike with Errol Spence, Wilder, Tank, who's still at the top of his game, and these other names, corporate media, as well as the person on the street, embraced him from the African Yoruba immigrant, Nigerian Yoruba immigrant, to the white media, white dominated media. We don't have that in America. And even among the minority fighters, there's factions. Don't use new media because you don't even know that's involved in a lawsuit. We can't even say the term new media and refer to it to YouTube. So again, Joe, you don't know what you're
Why
saying
is that?
there.
I didn't know
That's
that. Is
all
that
I'm
why
saying.
they stopped saying that?
Huh?
Is that why I stopped hearing new media? I didn't know that.
Yes, that's involved in litigation. We cannot use new media. That's only for one or maybe two YouTube channels. We cannot. That's why that term has gone out the window. That's a big thing. So I'm giving Joe credit because they
Okay, I
embraced
don't need
their
credit.
own in the UK and Anthony Joshua in a way that American media does not. Corporate media, why I've gotten on here so long and talked about corporate media, they kneecap, like the mob used to kneecap and break knees of people. That's what they do to our fighters. And that's why we had the YouTube boxing community come up. Whereas in the UK, they're more loyal to their fighters, they're loyal to Frock, they're more loyal to Anthony Joshua, regardless of if he's black or white. That's it. Without him out, deuces.
All
Yes, sir.
right.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So go ahead. Let me
So
get these two super chats real quick. Ringside, much love, brother. Thank you. And Burr Weezy with the $10 holler. Okay, so talk to your blue in the face, man. What
no,
exactly
no,
are
it's not
you
talking to a brother safe in the face. Look, man. Look, the first piece is this. I've already said I'm in agreement about America's market, right? In general, we're talking about economics. In general, America is the biggest market generally across the world. We understand this. We don't have to keep going back and forth on that, right? All I was saying was that when it comes to a fighter, okay, which I have been watching fights for a very long time, when a fighter, because of Floyd Mayweather being so great as he was, when they lose a zero, then people are easy to say, oh, this person's washed and blah 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 blah, which I think is nonsense. They shouldn't be doing that, right? And so if a fighter even has a boring fight, he gets mad ridicule. That's been happening for a long time. Like you said, people who have lost, Muhammad Ali, Duran, da, 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 all these people, Bernard Hopkins, you said this. Yeah, that's fine. The issue is that people have more antennas than they have roots. So they're willing to pick up the frequency that's been pushed out, whether it's old or this. I don't know what they use the term now for new media, whatever they use, or YouTube media, whatever it is. So now people pick up with their antennas on top of their head and they just create this echo chamber of this player or this fighter is this and this fighter is that. Having said all of that, okay, when it comes to a fighter in America wanting to go or wanting to fight in another country, they should be allowed to go and do that if they so choose. If they want to get, if
okay?
they
Put a
choose,
pause on here.
if
Put pauses.
they choose, if
Pause.
no, listen,
Pause.
if
I
they
listened.
choose,
Pause.
if they don't want to,
Pause.
then they
Joe,
should
I
stay.
gotta pause
They
you.
should stay
Joe,
and make money in America.
I have to pause
It's
you.
that simple.
I have to pause you because I have no idea why you would make that point.
Because you mentioned earlier that why would a promoter, why would a fighter want to go with a different promoter, and why would a promoter be trying to get into America? And it's just all money and fans. The reason why I mentioned about people getting shitted on over having a bad result
bro,
in their
you don't
fight,
understand what I'm saying.
oh man, yeah, okay,
You
then I don't understand.
that question.
Then I don't, and I'm
listen to
okay
my
with that.
question, Joe.
I'm okay with that. Go ahead.
You spoke. You said what you said. You
Say what you're
explained.
gonna say. Say what you're gonna say. Say what you're
I
gonna
am
say.
saying what I'm going to say. I'm saying it. I didn't stop talking. I understood your point. You said that the media criticizes people when they lose. Got it.
And it's more than that.
Now the second part. That's what you said.
More than that.
Joe,
No, the antenna, the people just create the echo chamber.
Stop talking over me. I didn't cut you off. You accused me of not being able to have a proper conversation. I didn't cut you off at all. I stopped and I asked to pause, and you still not letting me get my point across. I understood what you said the first time. Yes, it is true that when a fighter loses, he gets criticism. Absolutely. That is 100% true. Now, why would you say that make it necessary to say if a fighter wants to go overseas, they should have the ability to do so? I never said that a fighter can't go overseas.
Yes,
I never
there's a correlation. Yeah, you didn't. No, yeah, you're right.
What I said
there's a correlation.
Listen to this. I'm going to tell you what I said, not what you think I said. I said that the time for an American fighter to go overseas is when he has a fan base over there. That's when you go. Floyd Mayweather Jr. could have fought in Wembley Stadium, and he could have probably sold out Wembley Stadium himself. That's when you go. When Muhammad Ali went to the Philippines, it wasn't because there was some Philippine guy over there. It was because everybody was a fan of him there. When Deontay Wilder, when Mike Tyson went to Japan, he went to Japan because he was the show. When Michael Jackson leaves the United States and goes to Wembley Stadium, it's because of him. We don't have to go over to UK to be opponents for people. We don't. We have plenty of people we can be opponents for here. That's when you go. We don't need to go over to the UK as an opponent. Jared Anderson didn't need to go to Saudi Arabia. He could have stayed in the United States. He could have had his career be developed, and he wouldn't have been fed to Martin Bacoli the way he was fed to Martin Bacoli. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that a fighter can't go overseas. I'm saying when you go overseas because you're wanted over there, not because you have to go over there or because somebody waved a little money in your face. And the truth of the matter is Shakur went over there because he had to, because Top Rank's contract was already running out. Abdullah Mason got nowhere else to fight, so he's going to have to go there because Top Rank doesn't have a contract. But since boxing is the center of the boxing economy, and because guys like Gervonta can make $10 million just fighting in his own hometown, there's no reason to go over to the UK. There's no reasons to give other fighters advantages of you over in the ring because you're going over there. No, the center of international boxing is in the United States, so they should come over here if you're a draw over here. There's no reason for Gervonta to go over there. That's what I'm saying.
Got it. And I appreciate you breaking it down that way. And my response to that would be, it's so hard for boxers in general to get into that elite status. You've mentioned people who are going to go over there to go to whatever country outside of America, whether it's Tank or whether it's Muhammad Ali or whoever. Once they're in superstardom, they can make that choice to go and usurp some fans. Yeah, of course. But where I'm coming from is the people who are up and coming. There's some people who just get left behind the wayside, who can't get access to some money, and this is their only thing that they can actually do. So, like, let's just say someone in in Omaha, Nebraska, and he's at amateur level, but he's not good enough.
We're talking primarily about elite fighters, bro.
Okay, but I'm talking about. Okay, go ahead.
You're talking about Joe Blow ass dude that's fighting in Turkey Al Sheikh's sparring club thing? Absolutely, bro. If you can get a paycheck for $10,000, $20,000 in a flight to Saudi Arabia, take your ass out there to Saudi Arabia. But if you're Abdullah Mason and you're 12-0, think twice. Think twice.
Okay. Right. Exactly. Right. So now here's the thing. Now if we flip that, okay. So now if Abdullah Mason, when you said Joe Blow from Omaha, Nebraska, who needs to get a quick paycheck, and you're saying that Turkey wants him to come over to Saudi Arabia, go have at it, right? Or if let's just say Eddie Hearn or whoever those other promoters who are outside of the United States find a fighter. They're promoting a fighter who's over here, right? But they don't know the ins and outs.
Right now, I'm an American. I get what you're saying. I'm an American. I'm not talking about low-level dudes and sparring partner type guys. I'm not talking. Those guys have always had to do that. Winky Wright had to go to Europe because he couldn't get a fight in the United States.
Vice versa.
The reason what?
So vice versa. So you see when you see
what's vice versa? You gotta switch that equate. You gotta switch what you just said since you said vice versa.
Yeah. So for example,
what is the opposite? Not for example. You said vice versa, which means the opposite.
Yeah, that's exactly. So for example, this is what the opposite exactly. So what I'm gonna say? Oh my god. So you see when there's one Riyadh season event, right? Where this guy, I don't even know who this guy,
bro. I don't have a lot of
bro. I'm not selling. Okay, we can just leave it then. Let's just leave it, man. Let's just leave this, bro.
Let's not leave it, Joe.
I'm selling Riyadh season. You think I'm some kind of agent out here who cares about Riyadh season?
What is vice versa? You said vice versa.
I'm trying to explain it, and you're telling me I'm a promoter of Riyadh flipping season. I don't give a damn.
I'm not explaining it. What's vice versa? It should be very easy. What's vice versa about what I said about what? Listen, what is vice versa about? A great
I'm to share that with you, bro.
Listen, vice versa. And when we say there's Winky Wright, and Winky Wright had to go overseas because he couldn't get a fight in the United States. Vice versa would be somebody coming to the United States because they can't get a fight over there. I don't see why you would say vice versa.
Okay. Maybe using it in that literal sense is incorrect. Maybe saying it straight after what you just said wasn't in the flow of the conversation. What I mean to say, yes, okay. So what I mean to say is this. This is what I mean to say. Since that was incorrect, since that didn't go in the flow of the conversation, what I meant to say is there are people or fighters who may not necessarily be in a good position in their home state, who are trying to build out in their home state, and they may go to a state where they can get more money. That's all I'm saying. And there's fighters who are good enough to be on a world level who can't get a fight, who may have to go to another state or another place for more money. That's all I'm saying.
You're using a false. Bro, I'm trying not to be frustrated, bro, but I don't like those type of things.
Then you don't need to be. You don't need to be frustrated.
I am talking about people like Shakur Stevenson. Let me tell you who I'm talking about so you can stop bringing up examples of people that we're not talking about. We're talking about guys like David Benavidez. We're talking about Shakur Stevenson. We may be talking about Raymond Ford. We're talking about guys like Gary Antoine Russell. We're talking about world-class fighters on this channel. We are not talking about somebody that is fighting in a club in Arizona having to go to Chicago, bro. We are talking about the name prime fighters, the best fighters that America has to offer. Those are who we're talking about. Nobody has an issue, nor do I think it's reasonable for you to believe that anybody had an issue with normal, low-level fighters getting an opportunity and go fighting overseas. I don't understand how you could think I was even talking about those guys.
Why did Raymond Ford go to Japan?
I'm not answering questions, bro.
Why did those fighters
bro,
have
now
to go to Japan?
Now you sound like you're just trying to debate it. Bro, I've already stated my point, just like you said with Kamal. I am being very clear that I am talking about the top-level American fighters.
Fighters.
Raymond Ford went over there because Raymond Ford signed. Who is Raymond Ford's promoter?
I actually don't know who his promoter is. Is he Japanese?
I don't think so. He's probably an American. I don't know. What is he? Yeah, I think he's Eddie Hearn.
Let's just double check. Let's just double check. Yeah, double check. The only reason why I mentioned Raymond Ford for now is because he himself is an elite American fighter. He's
not.
Gone out.
No, he
Raymond
ain't.
Ford, he's good, man. What are we doing?
Second tier.
Wow,
He's
like this is what I'm saying.
Second tier, bro.
Yeah, and this goes back to my point.
He's second tier, bro. Literally.
Okay,
He just struggled with Abraham Nova and he lost to Nick Ball, bro. And
maybe
he fights on event. He's Eddie Hearn is his promoter. That's why he's fighting over there. Because he's Eddie Hearn. He's with Eddie Hearn.
And he fought for the title, didn't he?
He got his fight. He got robbed for a title with Eddie Hearn. What do you mean?
Okay.
And then he had to go defend his title in Nick Ball's hometown. He won a title. That's my point. He won a title, and then he had to go to defend it in Nick Ball's hometown. And he lost a close decision because he was fighting in Nick Ball's hometown. That's why. That's why he lost.
Okay, so is it the issue with him fighting?
I like that you brought up Raymond Ford.
There's a reason why.
Great example.
Exactly. That's the reason why I mentioned it, right? So are you saying that because he went to go and fight? Oh my God! Then you're gonna tell me what's in my mind. You're gonna tell me what's in my mind. You're gonna tell me what's in my mind now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I don't tell you. I'm not gonna tell you what's in your mind. I'm gonna tell you what your logical alternative is and how you don't want to have that conversation. I'm not going to read your mind. I'm not going to read your mind, but I'm not going to read your mind, Joe.
You know, why when I come on here?
Please stop talking over me. Please stop talking over me.
You try to make enemies out of for no reason. Like you can't have normal. Like you want to have an enemy
and trying to make me forget my point. You're going to try to make me forget my point or something. Please stop talking over me.
All right, mate.
Your example with Raymond Ford is the exact reason he shouldn't be having some overseas promoter, because he won his title and then he immediately got put into a fight in an opponent's hometown. Just like, do you know, you remember, what's my guy's name? Foster. What's my guy's name? Foster.
Shaqie Foster.
Shaqie Foster. He was with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn took Shaqie Foster and made him fight in Mexico in the opponent's hometown. And it was by the grace of God that he kept his title. Eddie Hearn did that to Raymond Ford, and he did it to Shaqie Foster. Come on, man. Shaqie Foster shouldn't, as a champion, and that's a promoter that likes him, that made him go to Mexico, Acapulco, I think it was in Acapulco, and he was fighting a guy that was from Acapulco. And then he fights Raymond Ford fight Ball in Ball's hometown. I guess Gervonta Davis should go fight somebody in their hometown. Come on, Joe. That's why I'm telling you that's a bad example, bro. Raymond Ford got fucked because he signed with Eddie Hearn.
So are you saying, or this is a question? It's a real question, right? Based on what you're saying, what I'm picking up from what you're saying is that because they're going out of their comfort zone of America, that they are exposed to corruption of some kind, or like is that what?
No. When you love somebody and they are your people, you do the best for your people that you can do for your people. Eddie Hearn is Britain. He is British. So he does the best for his British fighters. And it's very obvious that he does. He showed great care, love, and concern for AJ and Dillian White and many other UK fighters. I did not see him setting people up in any of his UK fighters the way that he set up Shaqie Foster and the way that he set up Raymond Ford. He wanted to get them beat, without a doubt. He wanted them beaten. So
I can't speak for him. I can't speak for Eddie Hearn.
The only reason you would put Raymond Ford in Nick Ball's hometown in front of Nick Ball's home fans is if you want those fans to be happy. The only reason you would take Shaqie Foster and put him in front of a bunch of Mexicans and fight his own hometown fighters if you want that man beat. Okay, we know the tricky dick games that Eddie Hearn plays, man. And no, I don't think it's the best decision for somebody, an American fighter, to believe that they are going to get good, equal treatment from a British promoter, as equal as the British fighters that have been his bread and butter for how long has Matchroom been around?
God knows how long, for a very long time.
They're going to have the majority of their fighters are going to be British and always British. The United States is the only place where people feel like they can come bring two foreigners over and take over the place. When have you ever seen, and I'm asking you, when have you ever seen two Americans headline a fight in the UK?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Ever.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
And you know why? Because they won't let it happen. They won't let it happen. Just like the British Board of Control won't let you jack up ticket prices more than 10%.
I don't think I can say that I've seen two UK fighters headline in America though. Like,
why would you?
Yes, I'm saying that. Why is that even a?
But you steadily. Oh, I'll tell you why. Because you steadily see two non-American fighters headline in the United States all the time. Canelo's not from the United States, and neither is Gennady Golovkin. When have you seen two non-Brits headline a card in the UK? Two non-Brits. You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. We have cards. We have cards with no Americans in them all the time.
But can you tie that?
Listen, because we're international and you're not. That's why.
It's the biggest market. Like, you're going to have the biggest fights in America.
You can
isn't that given?
You can swap terms if you want and call it big. I don't care. All I know for sure is that in the United States, two people from around the world can come there and fight each other, even though neither one of them are from the United States. We can have Vasily Lomachenko come in and he can fight Guillermo Rigondeaux. We can have Mexicans come up and fight in Argentines. We do all of that in the United States, but you all don't. But yet
what's that got to do with anything, though?
It has something to do with the fact that you're not global. You're a domestic. Listen, I'll explain it to you.
I wasn't even talking about this, but okay, go on, please. Go on.
I didn't say you weren't talking. I'm talking.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't say you said this. I'm telling you this. Britain is not international when it comes to boxing. It is very, 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 very domestic. They have a domestic scene. Even Monster Inoue in Japan, it's still basically a domestic scene because most of those fighters in those divisions fight in that country because Japan has a lot of those fighters. The only truly international country when it comes to boxing is the United States of America. We are the only people that have two Mexicans going to war. We can have, if you had two Brits good enough to go to war, we are international. So we don't have to go anywhere. We're already international. Where do we have to go? All somebody in Detroit has to do to get good sparring is go to Vegas or go to Baltimore. What do we need the UK for? I mean, seriously. Now, this is my question to you. What does the United States need from the UK?
I mean, I wouldn't even take that position to. I mean,
no, I didn't say. I'm asking you, what do we need from the UK?
What would the United States need from? I have no idea. I don't know. I wouldn't expect them to want anything from them. I wouldn't expect any. I wouldn't expect. Okay, do you need me here? Do you need me up here?
You answered the question. You said you don't know, right? You said you don't know. I'm
saying it don't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to have a UK.
Bro, you said you don't know. So the answer is you don't know. That's a fair answer. You don't know what UK boxing has to offer the United States. You said you don't know. I take that.
Do you need me? Do you need me up here? By the way, just out of question.
Oh yes, I do. Absolutely. Till I finish.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Now, what does the UK need from the United States? You need our money.
Yeah, so of course, everyone does.
No, but I doesn't care if everybody does. So what if everybody does?
Talking about? This is a weird situation. Listen, is the sky blue? Of course it's bloody blue.
I'm going to make a statement based off the conversation we just had. The United States boxing doesn't need anything from the UK. We don't need anything from you. Nothing. You need our money. Just because everybody else needs our money doesn't mean that you don't need our money. So UK needs our money.
Everybody needs the biggest market's money.
There you go.
Everybody. Like,
matter.
that's not like rocket science.
Say that like it's a defense.
No, but it's like, what's the point of even mentioning something that's so apparent? Like, why is that so?
It's not obvious. Because if it was
Wait,
obvious,
hold on. You're saying that it's not obvious.
And not let me get to this point I just baked your ass on. Okay? You're just not trying to let me finish this point. We don't need nothing from you. Nothing. We don't need ticket sales. We don't need venues. We don't need fighters. We don't need nothing. We don't need anything else from anybody when it comes to boxing, but everybody needs us. So I'm sick of y'all acting like y'all are running shit when you're really not. Your numbers are not what your numbers were when you guys were telling, not you, Joe. Your numbers were not big when Anthony Joshua and everybody was saying he was making $100 million and how UK took over boxing and how America doesn't have any champs. You guys have been kicking American boxing in the chin for so fucking long, bro, and it's so old. We don't need you. And absolutely no reason whatsoever for an American fighter to have to sign with Eddie Hearn. No reason whatsoever, ever. That's my point. Comeback Protocol said, how many British fighters are represented by American promoters? Very few, if any, are got American promoters. You know why? Because the American promoters ain't trying to sign them.
If you don't mind, I just want to.
Oh, let me read this last one. 2 years, one piece whole. God gave it to you, Joe. Go ahead. Hey, what's up, Jameson?
Yeah, I just wanted to just make the statement, and if I could just leave, leave after this. Sorry, Jameson. I just want to say this real quick before I leave. Where the initial reason why I was coming on was to speak about why a promoter would try their level best to get the best fighter possible under their roster. And it's purely just money, right? So with Boots going to Eddie Hearn or whoever else may be going to Eddie Hearn, it's Eddie Hearn is thinking in his mind, jackpot, I've just got a crown jewel. And every promoter who's able to do that will do it. Doesn't matter where they're from. Nobody's they're going to try their best to do it. And that's it. That was near the end of what?
Nah. Dog, I don't like cheap tricks, bro. Damn, I don't like cheap tricks, bro. Nobody
cheap
said
tricks.
That,
what are we talking about, bro?
I
didn't say that. Not anybody said that, Fanon. I'm saying that when I came on earlier, I was saying that there was a question earlier about 30 minutes earlier when someone was saying, someone said, why the hell would someone go with this promoter? Or why would this promoter try and get this guy? And it's just all to do with money. And it's as simple as that.
No, that's not even the same sentence. That's not the same thing.
Okay.
You just used.
All right. Well, thank you. I've said what I had to say.
No, you know.
Yeah. I do.
That's not what you were talking about, bro.
I appreciate it, but I want to go to the back real quick.
All right, man.
I'm just gonna go to the back. All right, take care. Right,
I do not like cheap debating tactics. You there, Jameson? I'm so sorry.
Oh, you good, brother? How you doing today?
I'm good, bro. I get frustrated with cheap debating tactics, bro. He switched his position like 3 times.
Yeah, I wanted to actually ask him. I wanted to see where he was going with that crown jewel analogy because I was going to say, what's the good of Eddie Hearn? What's the good of Eddie Hearn having a crown jewel and boots if he keeps taking them to the pawn shop and only getting like $500 for it? But that's not why I called to get on.
Can I make a comment real quick before you leave on that? See, here's the thing. This is why I kept getting on Joe. Joe keeps subtly changing the point of view from one of an American looking at what's good for America to a Brit looking at what may be good for America. So He said, I don't see any problem with Eddie Hearn wanting to sign American fighters. Joe, nobody said that, bro. That's a straw man. Right. Nobody said, Eddie, there's no reason for Eddie Hearn to sign somebody. What I said was there's no reason for him to sign with Eddie. That's what I said. I was looking at it from the American signing with Eddie, not Eddie's desire to sign them, which means what? You are switching your premises. You are literally doing a trick where you switch the premises. Just like that's why I asked you, Joe, what did you mean by vice versa? Because vice versa obviously did not apply in that situation. But I knew you didn't mean vice versa. You just tried to take the point and move. Joe, I love you, man. You're good people. I really do. But I don't like cheap debating tactics. And I recognize cheap debating tactics very, very, very fast, bro. Anyway, go ahead, Jameson. What did you come up for?
Oh, my first question was I don't know if you saw my comment earlier about MH Blackwell. I was interested to see if you'd be willing to make a video about the rise of the Black Panther Party.
I wrote it down. Yes, I would.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And then my second question as it relates to boxing was I know you mentioned maybe a month ago or so that an issue that the PBC is having is securing fight dates because of, Turkey and all the,
Yeah,
all the
that's
shit
what
they
people
have
are
going
saying.
on.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get your opinion, like, what do you think, if there is one, a positive solution to PBC stopping the interference for those fight dates?
I just think they got to just keep going. That's what I think. I just think that they need to just keep going, be professional like they are, and eventually that shit's going to kind of fall off. But I don't think that they're really going to be able to do that over any real long period of time. I just think they need to stay pat, put on really good fights, the best fights that they can have, because they've been really having very good fight cards. The last several of their I thought their last fight cards were terrific. I just think they need to stay pat, and stay professional. And when they don't have fight dates for fighters, then they should if they work with rehab season, like the way that they're letting David Benavidez get fights, as long as they have a good working relationship with that, I think it's good. I think they're going to be good.
Yeah, that's actually brings up an interesting point because, like you said, on one hand they got David fighting on Riyadh season, but on the other side you got Turkey, who, if not is Riyadh season, at least is a big part of it. Taking all these fight dates. So that's just I'm interested to see how that all plays out. To your point, but yeah, those are my main two things that I had today.
All right, cool, bro. I appreciate you, dog. Hold on, man. What the fuck did I? I'm
Absolutely.
sorry, bro. I'm messing something up. I was trying to do two things at one time, man. Please forgive me.
Oh, no, it's all good. Oh, and before I jump off, yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, Terrence said to tell you what's up, man. He's glad to hear you doing well.
Oh yeah, Terence Cole.
Yeah,
man, that's my guy, big man.
We were down at our family reunion in Virginia a couple weekends ago, and I told him I watched your channel, so he told me to tell you he's happy to hear you doing well, man.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, man, that was a good dude. He was a good mentor. He was a really good mentor to me. He was a third year when I was a first year, and he had this girl. Is he still married to Janelle?
No. Mm-mm.
Man, did he have a kid by her?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a big ass kid, isn't it?
He is. He already is.
Jesus, because I think Janelle is like 6'2", and he's like, what's he, 6'5", 6'6", something like that?
Yes. You talking about Terrence?
Yeah, Terrence like 6'5", something like that.
Yeah,
somewhere around
at least
there.
6'5".
Yeah, and then you got her. She was like 6'2". Like, yeah, they're gonna have some giants, man. But all right, brother. Thank you, Jameson. How's the gig going?
Oh, it's pretty well, man. I'm actually getting ready. In another hour or so, I got a presentation. Got some of our executives here from New York, so excited to talk to them about some of the stuff I've been getting into this past month.
All right, bro. Cool. That's what's up, man. Well, I get back with you, sir.
Absolutely, man. Always good to talk to you.
All right, deuces, Jameson. Peace.
Peace.
Tina Warwick, I think they moved Anthony Joshua too fast. They didn't do a lot of development with him. What the fuck? All right, y'all. Let me get up out of here. Deuces.